Hello, everybody. Hello. How are you guys doing tonight? How's everybody's day so far? Sorry. A little bit in a rush. Just got done eating. I'm a little tired today. But we're Umineko tonight, which is always a good thing to do. Everybody needs to redo Umineko. It'll change your life. Change everything. But seriously, how was everybody's day today? Now I just gotta remember how to actually start the game. Last time I almost restarted the whole daggone thing. Okay, it's gonna load. Alright, that's easier to check. Stupid Hanyo. Let's just jump into it.
Yeah, Shokun.
Oh no. Okay, hi Kraus. Hey, I want to check the. Can you look at our little? It's in options, I think. And options. It's in systems. Hello, Cogs. How are you doing tonight? I am a new fancy water bottle. I have ones like this, one of those big gallon jugs you carry with you. I love them. This one's all purplish and green. You can't see it. I'm not sure why I'm describing it to you. And look at our little family chart. We finally got Kinzo, Masuhi, Jiska. So only people we're missing right now is Kraus, which he should fill in this spot around here. And I'm not sure who'd be in here. I'm guessing Dr. Nanjo. Yeah, because you got the servants right here, family members here, so I guess it'd be Dr. Nanjo right there. Yeah, but so far we're still pretty early on into the story. It was the last scene left off on was Kenzo ranting about Beatrice and how his children are a bunch of vultures and scumbags. He hates them all. Which, you're kind of the reason why they can't turn out like that, dude. You're the main reason. Yeah. No tips? No kidder tips? Yeah. Well, let's get to it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the family head's health is not at its best. He seems extremely sad not to be able to share lunch with you all. Now that you have gathered for this evening event that occurs but once a year. Let the lunch begin.
かしこまりました。それでは本日の昼食を始めさせていただきます。
To begin today's luncheon.
南條先生、そんなにお父様のお具合は悪いの？せめて顔くらい見せてくれてもいいわよね。
体調というよりは気分ですが、こればかりはつける薬がありませんので。
おいおい、機嫌ってまたかよ。そりゃなんぜ。こちとら秋のクソ忙しい時期にスケジュール都合してご機嫌伺いに来てるんだ。それをよ。
And now he's
よかったじゃないか、ルドルフ。ご機嫌は伺えたんだ。
You now know how he's doing.
それとも
Or what?
不機嫌な親
We
父との
rather
私
take
の
my
代わ
place
り
and try to
お前
persuade
が
our
説得して連れて
ill-humored
きてくれ
father
るのか
to
ね。
come join us.
まさか。
Are you kidding? Rudolph shrugged. Apparently, though, Rudolph was willing to be ingenious at how self-centered his father was. He wasn't particularly disappointed to be spared a face-to-face meeting.
夕食までにはその機嫌
Does
治
this
り
seem
そう
like
な
it's
の？
gonna improve before dinner? Kraus-Nissan?
そんなことは知ら
I
ん
have no
よ。
idea.
親父殿に直
If
接
he wants to
聞い
know
てみる
that,
といい。
you should ask him directly.
もっとも
Although,
声をかけない
I think
方
his
が
mood
機
will
嫌の
improve
治りは
faster
早いと
if we
思
don't
う
bother
が
him.
ね。
源氏さんだけだよ。じい
The
様
ones
の
who
機
can get
嫌を直せ
grandfathers
る
out
の
of
は
the funk.
情けないぜ。
It's pretty pathetic though.
自分の親の
Making
機
the
嫌を
servants
使
deal
用
with your
人に直さ
own
せるんだ
parents'
からよ。
bad mood.
ジェシカ、
Jessica,
余計なことは
speak
言わな
out
くて
of
いい。
turn. She planned for her compliment to be heard only by her cousins, but it had reached even Krause's ears. Scolded, Jessica scowled and turned away, sulking.
機嫌がうんぬんっ
If he
て
as
ことは
cranky as they make him sound,
病状はそんな悪
he
く
can't
ないん
be
じゃない
that
の？
terribly sick, right?
元気がないってんならともかく
They're saying he's in a
機
bad
嫌が悪いっ
mood.
てのは
I think he's
少なくとも気はしっかりしてる証拠だぜ。
Which at least proves he's got his wits about him.
おじい様は
It's because
特に強
grandfather
い
has
気力をお持
especially
ちだから
strong
ね。
willpower.
でも
However,
体が
that doesn't
必ずし
necessarily
もそれ
mean
に
his
伴え
body
るとは
will be
限ら
able
ないよ。
to keep up.
去年からずっと
Since last year,
余命
they
3ヶ
keep
月って
saying
言わ
that
れ
he
続けて
has
る。
3 months left.
最初の診
If
断
the
が
initial
正しいなら
diagnosis was correct,
おじい様は気力だけで長らえてるってことになる。
by willpower alone,
気遣ってあ
it's
げ
right
ない
for
と
us
い
to
けない
worry
よ。
about him. Lunch started with the family head seat still empty. The man who should be sitting there had already grown old. In the brilliant glory which he had built the Ushimiya family in, the span of a single lifetime was being forgotten. Even though they were beginning the meal with the seat still empty, no one felt it was that odd anymore. Is the glass breaking like a shape of a heart? If it is, it's kind of cool. Oh. The Ushimiya Family Conference was held once every year on the first weekend of October. If a normal family here to hold a so-called family conference, you expect it to be nothing more than a reunion of rarely seen relatives who will greet each other around buckets of sushi or something. However, part of the family's great fortune had been lent out to grandfather's children, and no one in the family was considered an adult until they met with success in business. So this meeting literally was a conference. How much of the fortune was invested? What sort of business was conducted? How much profit was earned? As a result, how much of the fortune borrowed from the main family could be repaid? Or possibly, how much more would be borrowed for future business ventures? What lessons had they learned? And what could they learn from their mistakes? It seems that topics like these were discussed very seriously in the past. My dad said it was like lying on a bed of nails. Apparently, it used to be a very serious family meeting, where people were bathed in scornful and angry voices, and some people even got slapped despite their age. However, that had become a thing of the past. Now, with everyone pursuing their own business ventures and achieving success, it was becoming more of a normal yearly get-together. Even so, telling grandfather about recent events... Wait a second. Did I change? I have a feeling I didn't do something right. Okay, never mind. I thought I just popped through my brain like, oh no, I need to check this real quick, but never did. Alright, skip this. Even so, telling grandfather about recent events was extremely stressful. So while it was nothing more than a simple get-together for us grandchildren, it was still a real stomachache for our parents. The absence of the man who was the source of all this trouble, regardless of the reason, probably made today's lunch taste much more delicious. The phrase, "while the demon is not around, everyone can relax," comes to mind. Anyway, let's introduce Jessica's father, whose face I haven't seen for 6 years. The man sitting to my father's left is his older brother and Jessica's father, Uncle Klaus. This name sure is easy to read. Klaus. Now that we've gotten used to this string of weird names, our perspective is totally skewed. So Klaus doesn't actually seem that bad. He even starts to sound kind of cool. Just like with Aunt Nasui, I didn't have many memories of speaking with Uncle Klaus. He had never been one to chat to children, and I felt that he was always talking with the adults, just like Aunt Nasui. According to my father's gossip, he was a spiteful and violent man. If what he said was true, Uncle Klaus used to be very domineering. From his position as the oldest sibling, he was despised by all the other siblings. Though, despite that, those siblings all seem to be chatting happily together. Oh well. Even if their relationship was bad when they were children, sometimes when people grow up and live apart from each other, their relationship changed. That's probably what this was. After all, they all had children about the same age. By sharing the same family environment, they probably profited by exchanging opinions. Maybe because of that, a short while ago, the circle of parents began to discuss the exams Jessica and I would be taking. Jessica, in order to escape questions about exams from my father on her left, purposely faced right while firing off a rapid series of comments, not giving him any chance to get a word in. Moving on, let's look at the end opposite from Kraus and the others. In the very last seat at the table, an old gentleman with a sturdy physique sat facing Kiri-san. This was my first time meeting him. I had only just been introduced to him, but it seems he's grandfather's personal doctor, a man called Nanjo. I heard he used to own a huge clinic on the nearby island of Nijima, and he turned it over to his son and began living a life of leisure in his old age. He had known grandfather since the very beginning. Excuse me? When the mansion was first constructed on this island, he had built up a relationship over several decades. I thought at first that the two of them might have gotten to know each other through grandfather's suspicious hobbies, but it seems he was actually grandfather's chess partner. I see. That kind of hobby seems very like our grandfather, but with his love of all things Western. Nanjo's probably the only person who could enter Rokunojima, despite being neither a family member nor a servant. He looked like a calm old gentleman as he listened to the discussion between Kiri and the other women, who sat near to him. Considering how long he stayed at the side of the short-tempered grandfather, his generous heart was probably nothing to laugh at. Still, even if he was a family doctor, having anyone outside the Ushimiya family attend the family conference was a little odd. It made me think that grandfather's condition might have worsened so much. It might be a major topic of discussion at today's conference. After all, George said something like just that a second ago. Something about how we've been getting continuous reports since about last year that grandfather didn't have long to live. It's nasty to think about, but consider how rich grandfather is. At the times of his death, his wealth will suddenly be released, probably along with a fair share of our parents' stomach acid. And it'll lend to ulcers for everyone. After all, this sort of thing just gets messier when there's more wealth to be divided. There's a good chance they'll be talking about stuff like that at the family conference. Still, it's not like it's got anything to do with us kids. Finally, even though he hasn't shown up, let me introduce our grandfather. The person who should be sitting at the head chair is Ushimiya Kinzo. It really sucks. Everyone else in the family has these weird names, but he's got this perfectly normal one himself. If only his name was written Kinzo, but he let us call him Goldsmith or something. I'd totally freak out. As you can probably guess by now, he's a frightening person with an extremely short temper. I'm one of his grandchildren, not a son, and I haven't seen him since elementary school. Thanks to that, I have no memory of being beaten myself, but our parents were apparently raised with an iron fist. That earlier conversation between my dad and Uncle Kraus about who should go convince grandfather to come down seems pretty darn funny once you know their background. You really can't tell grandfather's story without covering that pivotal event back before the Showa era, 1926 through 1989. Until the Meiji, 1868 to 1912, and Taisho, 1912 through 1926, eras, the Ushimiya family was great and prosperous. They owned several spinning mills, making them rich enough to just double over laughing every day as the money kept rolling in. Incidentally, grandfather was a member of a branch family and had pretty much nothing to do with the main family. Not only was he laid down the list of people who could inherit the headship, but he had hardly any contact with the glamorous main family. However, during the Great Kanto earthquake in the year Taiho 12, 1923, the mansion owned by the Ushimiya family in Okadara was flattened. The spinning mills in Tokyo were all burned down in a huge fire, and the Ushimiya family lost most of its wealth and family members in an instant. So once they started trying to figure out who the successor to the Ushimiya family should be, they apparently found no one remaining except Kinzo and his branch family. In Kinzo's later reminiscences, he referred to this as a good fortune so great that they overturned fate. With that, grandfather's boring, everyday life did a 180. He was entrusted with receiving the dying Ushimiya family, which was lost nearly all of his wealth. However, just because he had been entrusted with this task didn't mean he could accomplish it. Apparently, those around him weren't really expecting much. However, this is when Grandfather began displaying his extraordinary talent in good luck. Grandfather used all the family's remaining wealth, as well as everything from the hair on his head to his toenails, as collateral in order to borrow a massive amount of money. Once he built up a gigantic war chest, he immediately invested in businesses. It was like someone tumbling down a hill on a bike without any brakes, and then jumping onto a neighboring bike, and then another. Just like some crazy street performance. I'll bet everyone thought Grandfather had no business ability whatsoever. However, after several miracles and turns of good luck, with consequences piling up and every chance taken advantage of, he was suddenly in control of powerful connections with the accompanying forces. At that time, MacArthur and the GHQ were the ultimate authority in Japan. Grandfather, in a twinkle of an eye, began succeeding in business under the protection of the occupying forces, quickly becoming very rich. By this point, it's probably safe to say that information, not luck, saved the day. He must have made some seriously deep connections with the accompanying... I know the word, just cannot say it. Grandfather knew beforehand about emergency demands that would be made for the Korean War. No, it was more than that. Who's that predicted those emergency demands from the very beginning when he started investing his money? The history books made it sound like all of Japan made a large profit off the emergency demands during the Korean War. But that isn't actually true. Only a very limited number of the super rich played the money game and made an easy profit. Most of the citizens remained poor. In other words, Grandfather was a member of this extremely lucky group of winners. I'm pretty sure this all happened during the year Showa 25, 1950, or so. The Great Kanto earthquake happened in Taisho 13, 1924. So, that means Grandfather was able to revive the near-dead Ushimiya family in only about 20 years, to a level even higher than it had been before. With that, you think he revived the main family in Odara. But for some reason, he went and did something as crazy as buying an entire small island in the Izu archipelago. Buying an entire island is not something that you can ordinarily do today. However, Grandfather was clever. He contacted the GHQ and applied for the establishment of a marine resource base. He acquired this island as a business property, then tossed that project aside and claimed it as his own plot of land. After the war, there were prevention measures against food shortages, and having the sponsorship of the GHQ meant that nobody could oppose him. From what I have heard, the Tokyo metropolis of the day offered this land to him practically for free. Later, Tokyo made difficulties by telling Kenzo to return the land, but the pushy GHQ intervened. Anyway, it seems under the table of bribes did their work well. In the end, the city gave up in frustration. Grandfather, with considerable skills and good luck, managed to weather the stormy seas of that period, attaining a vast fortune in his own island. Of course, it probably wasn't all luck. He was obsessed with all things Western, which helped him cultivate his English skills. He was able to use this to his advantage and sink his teeth into the GHQ. A mansion was built on the island soon after. This mansion, in fact, grandfather, with his love of the Western style, made this once uninhabited island a canvas upon which he could realize his dreams to his heart's content. He now had the Western mansion of his dreams, overflowing with emotions and atmosphere, and a beautiful garden featuring all sorts of roses. And he had a private beach where nobody other than himself would ever be permitted to leave a footprint. This would be a dream come true for any boy. After that, he made good use of his huge fortune, becoming a large stockholder in the extremely stable iron and steel industry, and was able to live an easy and comfortable life just by the dividends. Well, he's just that incredible. This kind of person usually has the ability to foresee and predict the future, or at least that is how they are portrayed after the fact. Grandfather denies all that, repeatedly saying that he was simply blessed with extraordinary luck. Anyway, even a lord like that can help but grow increasingly eccentric when locked up alone on an island where all his dreams are made real. Everyone knows that he had a Western obsession from the start. But none of our parents really known when his bizarre black magic hobby began. I'm sorry, I'm really thirsty today. Oh yeah, I normally am. Did his love of black magic began way back when he became fascinated with everything Western? Or did this meticulous stench of good luck while reviving his family cause him to feel a mysterious power in himself? At some point, grandfather began to make research of black magic his life work. He filled his study up with suspicious books, chemicals, and magical items as he became increasingly bizarre. From what I've heard, those around him warmly watched over him, figuring that someone who had achieved success in life had a right to do so as they pleased. There's no way that's true. They were probably just creeped out, thinking, that's disgusting. I don't want to get involved. Anyway, that agitated period was an age of big gambles, with both opportunities and risk. Let's say grandfather was born in this time period. He would have no opportunities and would probably have advanced like a chess piece from the mandatory education to college at leisure pace, never becoming more than an average salaryman. If that happened, he probably has sat somewhere happily, talking behind his boss's back. No, not in a fancy dining hall like this. More like a table in some bar. Then again, I'll bet this family conference would be a whole lot more relaxing if that were the case. Okay. That's enough about the old geezer. More importantly, let's talk about this incredible lunch. Our sashimi appetizer. Koda-san is an excellent chef. But these fish were caught in the adjacent seas, weren't they? Totally different for the sashimi you get at the supermarket. Hey, good butler. Your upbringing will be exposed. Everyone let out a big laugh. Damn it. You say that even though you love those cheap pubs.
僕も仕事の都合で珍しいところで食事をすることもあるけど、それらと比べてもこれはかなりのものだよ。ゴーダさんは多分その道じゃ少しは知られた人だったんじゃないかな。
よく
は知らないんだけどよ。
I don't know the details.
老舗ホテルで
But stuff got
のれん
complicated
分け
at
だ
the
か
long
派閥の
standing
分裂だ
hotel
かやや
he
こ
used
し
to
い
work
ことがあ
at.
ってよ。
But with them opening a new establishment with the same name and breaking into fractions or whatever it was.
そのトラブルで辞めざるを
In
得
the
なくな
middle
っち
of
まっ
all
たんだ
that,
ってさ。
he was apparently forced to retire.
それでその時
At that time,
偶然
Mom
お
just
ふくろ
happened
が
to be
使用人
sending
の
out
求人を
job
出してたわけ
offers
なんだ
for a
よ。
servant. As Scolder removed the empty plates, he began to recount his own bumpy past without losing his smile.
世の中というのは難
The
しいもの
world
で
is
す。
a difficult place.
しかし
However,
そのおかげでこ
thanks
う
to
して今
Madam,
日
I was given a
後ろ宮
chance
家
to
で
display
再
my
び料理人
skills
と
as
し
a
て
chef
腕を
once
振るう機
again.
会を賜ること
This
ができ
time
ました。
for the Ushimiya family.
大勢の方の笑顔も嬉しいです
Although
が、
I enjoy experiencing the smiles of a larger number of people,
お仕えすると決め
I
た
also find it
限ら
quite
れた方
entertaining
々にだけ喜
to
ん
perform
でいただ
more
くために
delicate work
繊細なお
that
仕
can
事
be
ができるのも
pleased the
とても
limited
楽
numbers
しい
of
ことで
those
ございます。
who have employed me.
これもすべて
After
機
all
会を
this is
くださっ
thanks
た
to the
奥様のお
opportunity
かげです。
given to me by the madam. Golda-san respectfully bowed his head towards Aunt Masui.
応募のあった中でゴ
That's
ーダが
because
一
you
番
were the
腕
most
が良かった
talented
か
of
らです。
applicants,
客観的判断に基
Decision
づ
was
くも
purely
ので
objective,
市場はありま
not
せんの
based
で
on personal 感謝には
及びません。
so there's no need to thank me. Dang, why does Aunt Masui always have to sound so indifferent? If only she spoke with a bit more kindness, she might leave a different impression. Shana-chan and Kumasawa-san entered from the hallway with a surfing cart.
失礼いたします。
Please excuse us?
それでは
No then.
本日のデザートに移らせていただきます。
Golda-san and the others laid the beautifully adorned dessert out in front of us all. I guess it's true when they say you have another stomach for dessert. I thought I already filled up on delicious food. But as soon as I laid eyes on the dessert, my stomach started yelling, "More!" I don't know much about desserts, but this looks really good. My white pudding-like substance was garnished with 2 shades of red sauce, and elegant rose petals adorned the dish. Normally during a high-class meal like this, you're supposed to wait for the chef to extol the virtues of this particular meal before eating. However, Maria was completely indifferent to strict rules like that, so she just got excited by this beautiful and delicious-looking dessert, jumping into the fray as soon as it was placed before her. Aunt Rosa scolded her, calling it bad manners, but George responded with saying, Now, it's okay. Aww.
こっちの酸っぱい。
That's quite sour.
こっちの酸っぱい。
That's quite sour.
こっちのは
This was no good. Maria exclaimed as she sampled the 2 colored sauces.
なんだと？当たりと外れがあるのか
What?
よ。
Some
よ
are
し、
good,
俺
some
も
are
味見して
bad.
やるぜ。
Okay, give it a go. Apparently, one sauce was sweet and the other was sour. Despite it being bad manners, I also stuck my little finger in and licked it. Whoa, one of the sauces was sour enough to make you pucker up. If it were yellow, I suspected lemon, but I couldn't guess. What kind of sourness would be red? I decided to ask Shannon, who was putting away the serving cart behind us.
シャノンちゃん、こ
Shannon-chan,
の酸っぱいのは何のソース
what
だ
kind
い？
of sauce is the sour stuff?
あの
Shannon-chan hesitated. Maybe her job was just to set the table, so she doesn't really know. Still, even considering that, she seemed pretty stressed. Maybe I shouldn't have asked. Or did it use some ingredients that'd be better off not knowing about? Well, Aunt Natsumi made a gesture that seemed to indicate an oncoming headache. Kumasawa-san, who was sitting at the table at the opposite seat, began to chuckle. What do you think we made it out of? I have no clue. I don't know.
というか、
Wait a
熊
sec.
沢のばあさんがそういう笑い方すると不気味でなら
That
ねえぜ。
laugh's pretty creepy.
で、
So?
何なんだよ、
What is
正
it?
体は。
内緒ですよ。
Don't tell anyone, okay?
お耳を拝借。
Listen very carefully. Kurosawa-san leaned across from the other side of the table. I leaned forward myself, and she asked. Their interest caught Jessica, George Sakini, and of course Maria also put their ears closer. What is it? Quickly! Quickly!
この酸っぱいのは
You
です
see,
ね。
the sour part is made from
実はお魚のサバの絞り汁ですよ。
Mackerel? That's crazy! We all thought, horrified. Only Maria accepted it, nodding saggily. Oh,
サバは酸っぱいよ。
mackerels are sour.
絞ったらこうなる。
This is what comes out when you squeeze them? That's so sweet. When Maria started clamoring that mackerels were sour, the adults were unable to contain their laughter.
違うわよ。
Only
酸っ
Aunt
ぱいのは
Rosa,
しめサバでしょ。
her face red, whispered to Maria that mackerel is sour, only once prepared as shimasaba. Now I totally remember. Kumasawa-san was always like this, wasn't she? I think I remember her tricking me to all sorts of ways when I was young. The most lethal has got to be that one. Those flimsy black things in Chinese dishes. They were kikurak mushrooms. She told me they were penguin meat, and I went all around the school like a smartass telling everyone, didn't I?
熊沢のばあちゃん、相変わらずだ
Sure
な。
haven't changed.
マリアが信じ
You
ちゃうだ
know
ろ。
Maria's gonna believe it now, right?
冗談ですよ。今からゴーダさんがソースの正体を教えてくれますからね。
No, Goda-san. Now Goda-san is going to tell us what the sauce really is, won't he? Goda looked a bit put off by his masterpiece being laughed at for such a bizarre reason. But clearing his throat once again, he introduced the dessert to us.
それではデザートのご説明をさせていただきます。
Oh, then let me introduce the dessert.
本日はご
After
来
seeing
賓の
how
皆
much
様
you
が
all
大層
enjoyed the
お気
rose
に入りでござい
garden
ました
today,
バラの庭
I
園に
finished
ちなみま
this
して
panna
パンナ
cotta.
コッタをローズガーデン風に仕上げてみました。散らしてご
Those
ざいま
rose
すバラ
petals
の
scattered
花びらは
across were
当家の庭
selected
園
just
より
now from
先
the
ほど
very rose
採取してきた
garden.
ものでございます。ソースは
The
ストロベ
sauce
リ
is
ーとロ
a
ーズヒップの
combination
2
of
色
two
の赤を
reds,
ご用意しました。
strawberry, and rose hips.
ストロベリーの甘味
Please
と
enjoy
ロ
this
ーズヒ
mixture
ッ
of
プ
the
の酸味を
strawberry
交
sweetness
互にお
and the
楽しみに
rose
なってく
hips
ださい。
sourness.
なお花びらは
Furthermore,
観
the
賞用
rose
となってお
petals
りま
are
すので
merely
避けて
decorative,
から
so
お召
please
し上がり
avoid
くだ
them
さい
while
ま
you
せ。
eat.
それではど
With
うぞ
that said,
お楽しみください。
whoa, man! I almost want to applaud before eating. Just like with the medicine, reading the detailed descriptions first seems to make it a whole lot better. As Golda-san elaborated on the details of this dessert, it started to feel even more appetizing. Seriously, should you just call him subtle or just talented? The dessert was probably planned from the beginning, but taking the hint when we all stopped in front of the rose garden earlier today, he displayed an incredibly and timely awareness by just adding a few rose petals from that garden. This combination of sweet and sour was also exquisite. It was just sweet. If it was just sweet, you'd just get used to it and bored halfway through. But if you reach the sour sauce at that point, you really get a vivid taste. And then once you return to that sweet sauce, all of the sourness in your mouth will be replaced with an enjoyable sweetness. I'm sure everyone else felt the same way. Every time Golda-san passed by one of our seats, someone praised the taste in his presentation.
いかがですか、
How
奥
is it,
様。
madam?
相変わらず見事で
As
す。
always.
お客様をおもてなしするに値します。
恐れ入ります。
I am most grateful for your words.
奥様、
Madam,
ご存知
did
です
you
か、
know?
ローズヒップには頭
I
痛に
heard
効
that the
く効
rose's
果
hip
もあるそう
has
で
the
すよ。
ability to cure headaches.
奥様に特に
I
お気
thought
に
that
入りい
you
た
in
だけるか
particular
と思
would
い、
appreciate it.
特別に
So
ご
I
用
had
意
it
させていただきました。
Especially prepared.
そう、
Is that so?
ありがとう。
Thank you.
ほら言ったで
See?
しょ、
Didn't I
夏
tell
日
you?
さん。
Nasui-ni-san?
ローズヒップ
Rose
は
hip
頭
is
痛に
great
効
for
くって。
headaches.
みたいね。
So it seems.
聞くといいんだけど。
I do hope it actually helps.
ゴーダさん、
Golda-san,
あんたには惚れるで。
I love ya.
なあ、
Hey,
後であん
later
たの
on.
待遇
What
を
are you
聞かせ
telling
て
me
や。
now? They treating ya.
無理ならあんた
Or
の
if you
欲しい
can't,
年
just let
収
me know what
指立て
sort
てくれ
of
るだけでも
salary
いい
you
や
like.
で。あんたの腕
Have your
がこ
talent
の島だけ
confirmed
で
to
独
the
占され
small
とるのは
island is
人類の食文化に
sacrilege
対す
to
る冒
humanity's
涜や。
cooking culture.
その腕、わしの
What do you
会
think
社で振
about
って、
working your
お
craft
客の
for
皆
my
さんを
company
喜ばせ
and
てみる気は
delighting
ないかの
all our customers?
秀吉さん、
Hideyoshi-san,
うちのゴーダ
are
を
you
引き
trying to
抜かれる
steal
ので
away
すか。
our Golda?
これは困
No,
った
that won't do at all.
ゴーダの待
We
遇を
better
もっ
start
と良く
treating
しないと
Golda
引き抜か
better,
れてし
or
まい
he'll
そう
get snatched up.
そうした方がいいわね。じゃないと引き抜か
Someone's
れ
going
て
to grab him.
3食
and
が
you stuck
熊
with
沢
3
さん
meals
の
of
サバ料理にされ
style
ちゃうわ
mackerel
よ。
cooking a day, won't you? Why be so mean to Kurosawa-pan? I'm pretty sure her mackerel tastes lovely.
これは手厳しゅうございます。すっかり根に持たれてしまいまして。
Everyone let out a huge laugh. According to Jessica, Kurosawa-san's mackerel jokes were a running gag that our parents had long since gotten used to. Kurosawa-san often claimed that mackerels had precious neutral value, which could slow aging, make people smarter, and more. Supposedly, while it couldn't stop the outward signs of aging, it helped prevent aging on the inside. Since she was still sprinted enough to tell these kind of jokes at her age, there might be something to that theory.
それ
In
では
that
失礼いた
case,
しま
if you'll
す。
excuse me,
夕食
prepare
には
yourself for
ふる
tonight's
って
dinner.
たくさんのサバ料理をお召し上がりいただきますので、
So you better
ど
look
う
forward
ぞ
to it.
ご期待くださいませね。
期
We
待して
sure
るよ。
will.
今晩はしめ
Can't
鯖
wait
で
to
キ
get
ュン
all
としゃ
puckered
れ込
up
みたい
from
ぜ。
tonight's shimsababe. Shimsabab.
それは素敵ね。
That sounds wonderful.
ついでに日本酒の美味しいのも出てこないかしら。
Japanese sake.
ええ、ございますよ。
it is certainly well.
六軒島名物のサバ焼酎なるものがございまして。
Kumasawa-san, together with Shanen-chan, bowed and pushed the serving carts away. It was pretty funny to watch Golda-san, who looked like his show had been stolen, explain in a serious voice that we would be having calf steak for dinner. What's wrong?
熊沢さん、さっきはありがとうございました。
Thanks for doing that back there. As she pushed the serving cart, Shannon bowed her head very deeply. Oh, I haven't done anything.
お礼を言われることなんてありません。
Kumasawa-san may have played dumb, but she had obviously understood and saved Shannon in the nick of time. Back when Butler had asked about dessert, Shannon had unfortunately hesitated. There may have been several ways to dodge the question, but all of them would have required some quick wits. Shannon, who hesitated when hard pressed for a response, was always suffering because of this small weakness. If only Shannon had a little of the craftiness needed to cleverly shake off a mistake like Golda, her life would have been a bit easier. The fact that she could perform other tasks flawlessly made this weakness even more unfortunate. However, there were some who understood Shannon's honest nature, her inability to gloss over a mistake and draw attention away from it. That's why Kumasawa-san has smoothly come to her rescue.
さっき源氏さんが午後のシフトに変更があるとおっしゃってましたよ。確かシャノンさんは夕方までお休みがもらえたと思いました。
I believe you'll be given a break until this evening.
羨ましい。
I'm sorry. Oh, sorry.
すみません。
I haven't checked the
シフ
shift.
ト表を確認していませんでした。
そうそう。
Ah, yes.
オーブンでこれか
I
ら
was
ちょっと
thinking I
サ
might
バを
start
焼こうと
cooking
思っ
some
てるんです
mackerel
よ。
in the oven.
できたら
If
お
you don't
休みの前に
mind,
ちょっと手伝ってくれると嬉しいです
for your break.
ね。
はい。喜んでお手伝いさせていただきます。
Dear Shannon, Kumasawa was like a mother among the servants. Aww. I love their little dynamic. I love the little mackerel joke too. It's dumb, but it fleshes out the character. The dining hall needed to be cleaned up, so we were chased out. Instead, tea was being served in the parlor. Apparently, they prepared the black tea that Aunt Rosa had brought for Aunt Nasui. Maria said she also wanted to have some black tea, but my old bastard said she couldn't and told us children to go play outside.
バトラ君、
Batman-kun,
みんなで表
we're
に
going
散
all
歩に
to
行かないかい？
go for a walk outside.
バラでも見に
Go
行った
ahead
ら
and take a look at the roses or something.
でも天気には十
Just keep
分
a
注意
close
する
eye
ん
on
や
the
で
weather.
空はまだ明
Sky
る
is
い
so
が
clear,
天気予報
but the
は
weather
降る降る
report
と
kept
繰り
on
返しち
talking
ゃう
about rain. I like it, the beach! The beach!
あら素敵じゃ
That
ない
sounds wonderful.
砂浜で遊ぶなんて
Lying on a
普段は
sunny
な
beach
かなか
is
できないも
something
の
you
ね
should go. Something you get to do often, is it?
そっか。
Ah, good point.
よし。
Okay,
じゃ
so
あ
I'll
みんな
go
で
to the
浜
beach
辺でも
then.
行こうぜ。
Let's go.
マリア、
Maria,
服を
be
濡らさ
careful
ないよう
not
に
to
す
get
るの
your
よ。
clothes wet.
靴もよ。
Or your shoes.
濡らさ
Won't get wet.
素直で
The
可愛い
obedience is so cute.
バトラ君
But look on.
マリ
Make
アちゃ
sure
んの
you
面
keep
倒
an eye
ちゃ
out
んと見てあ
for
げてね
Maria-chan, okay?
おうや
Sure. Leave it to me.
おお、
Eh,
お
you're
前
pretty
もキリエに
obedient
頼まれると
yourself.
素直で
You
可愛い
seem
じ
to
ゃねえ
carry like that.
か。たまには俺の言
Why
う
don't
こ
you
とも
listen to me
素直に聞いて
obediently
み
for
ろ
a
よ。
change?
まっぴらごめんだぜ。行こうぜ、み
Let's
ん
go,
な。
everyone.
ほ
Come
ら
on.
ほら。
Well, that's like, no, thank you. Oh no, I skipped it. The children flew out. Something, something. They were replaced by Genji, who pushed a serving cart in and prepared to serve the tea. The parlor was filled with a sunblind aroma, which delighted everyone while they waited to sate their thirst.
ルドルフのところは家族仲がいいじゃないか。良いことだ。
It's a wonderful thing.
よせよ。
Quit it. We're
兄
no
貴の
match
とこ
for
ろに
your
負ける
family.
ぜ。
Akini.
そうよ。
That's true.
ジェシカ
You
ちゃん
raised Jessica-chan
本
to
当
be
に
so
可愛らしく育っ
adorable.
たじゃないこれ
I
も夏
imagine
日
that
姉
that's
さん
yet
の
another fruit
教
of your
育の
talent
賜
and
物だ
education
ね
and training, Natsui-san.
どう
Ne-san.
も
Thank you. Natsui answered coldly. The conversation broke off then, and the parlor fell silent. Maybe Hideyoshi couldn't bear the silence because he broke it himself with an exaggerated gesture.
しかし、成長は早いもんや
They
で。
sure do grow fast.
いつまでも子
I
供だ
thought
と
they'd
思っ
be
とっ
kids
たが、
forever.
図体
But
は
they
みる
start
みる
getting
でかく
huge
な
all of
り
a sudden.
いつの
And
間に
they're
か
adults
大
like
人の
us.
仲間入りや。バトラ
But
君
the
なんか
Khan
見
looks
違
like a completely
えた
different
で。
person now.
体
His
は大
body
きくな
has
りま
grown
した
much
けど
bigger,
まだ子供
but
で
he's
す
still just a kid.
うちの主人も
Though you could say
いま
same
だに子
about
供
my
ですけれ
husband.
ど
I wonder
子供と
where
大
the
人の
border
境
between
ってどこな
child
のかしら
and
ね
adult is.
私
I still
い
don't
まだに
feel
大
as
人
though
にな
I've
っ
grown
たっ
up.
て自覚が持てない
情けないじゃないか。一児の母の言うことではない。
That's not something the mother of a child should say.
そうね
That's right.
私たちももう子供じゃない大人
We're
同
all
士よ
adults now.
だから感情
So
的
I
に
wish we
な
could
らず
talk together on
知
an
的な会話
intellectual
をしたい
level
わね
rather than an emotional one. What's this? Oh, it's like a clock in the background. Like, what's that noise? When Ava smiled with sharp sarcasm, everyone seemed to get more tense. It felt as though that pleasant tea aroma had been tossed out of the window.
知的な会話なら昔からいつも心がけているじゃない
We've
か。
always been endeavored to engage in intellectual conversations.
お前の嫌味は時
It
に
seems
的
your
を外している。
sarcasm occasionally misses its mark.
昔から変わら
Just as
ない
it。always has.
昔からいつ
What
も
is it
ですっ
you've
て
always endeavored to do?
あらあ
My,
ら
my.
その言
I
葉を
wish I
き
could
れ
rub
いに
those
放
words up
送
and
して
send them to this
何十年か
room.
前のこの部屋に届けてあげたいわねねえローザ
Right, Rosa? Rosa gave a vague smile. She knew that, whether she agreed or disagreed, she earned the displeasure of one of her siblings. It was a bit of worldly wisdom that she'd been essential for someone growing up as the youngest sibling.
よせよ姉貴。
Could it, Akini,
ガキどもがいない
get
間に
started on our main
本題に
topic
入ろうじゃねえか。
while the brats aren't around?
それこそ知的な
Let
話よ。
us make that our intellectual discussion. As Rudolph glanced over the faces of all present, some let out a slight sigh, and some let out a small look of resignation across their face. They were approaching their unavoidable true agenda.
去年の時点で余命3ヶ月だったんだ。
His life expectancy was estimated to be about 3 months.
ってことは、
Which I
す
guess
でにマイナ
means
ス9ヶ
he's
月っ
got
てことじゃねえか。
negative 9 months left.
いつお迎えが慌ててすっ飛んでくるかもわからねえ状態ってことだぜ。
Should we take that to mean it might suddenly happen at any time?
当主様は今でも健在でおられます。
The family head is alive and well.
このような不穏当な
The
話を
fact that you
日
bring
も
up
明るいうち
such
からなさろうとする
an
など、
appropriate
ル
topic
ドルフさんの正気を疑わ
under
ざ
the
るを
light
得ま
of
せん。
day makes me doubt your sanity, Rudolph son.
だがな、夏日さん。
Still, Natsui-san.
こういうしょっぱい話は
This is the
い
sort
ざ
of
こと
thing
があって
you
から
can't
じ
put
ゃ
off
遅いんや。
until after something happens.
今が元気だからこそ余
He's
裕
still
あるうち
healthy
にしとく
now,
もんなんやで。
which makes this the perfect time to talk about this. Well, we still got time to plan.
これも財産のエチケットみたいなもんや。
It's just a bit of financial etiquette, you might say.
諸君の関心は親
It
父殿のよう
seems
じゃないか。
father is the focus of everyone's concern.
南條先生、
Dr. Nanjo,
あなたから説明してくださいませんか。
could we hear the details from you? One second, I need to fix this.
彼らもそれをお望み
That
だし。
appears to be what everyone else is waiting for, after all. Nanjo, who had been standing by the window and staring at the rose garden, let out a single cough when he realized what he was being called.
南條先生、
Dr. Nanjo,
お父様の具合
how is
は
father's
どんな
condition?
感じなんですか？
まずはじめに、
Well, to begin,
私が去年
allow
申
me
し
to
上げま
start
し
with
た。
a
余
revision.
命3ヶ月とい
Since
う
my
言葉
estimate
が
last
一人
year
歩きを
that
して
he
いる
had
よう
only
です
3
ので、
months left
その訂正
was
から
not
いたしま
born
す。
out.
言われずともわかる
No
わ。
need to explain.
余命と
You're
いうの
saying
は
that measuring
あく
remaining
まで
life
も見込み
is
であって約束ではないとおっしゃられる
not
の
a
よね。
promise, right?
さようです。
That is correct.
ですから、
Because of that,
皆さんからたび
while
たびお
I
尋ねを
accept
受けますが、
everyone's repeated
いつ
a
亡く
question,
なるのかということは、
I can only,
決して断言
I
でき
can
な
by
い
no
こと
means
なのです。
confirm when he will pass away.
人の命は体と心に
A
支え
human's
られ
life
て
is
おりま
supported
す。
by their body and their mind.
体が弱れ
The
ば
body's
危
weak.
うくもな
The
りますが、
situation becomes more
それを補
dangerous.
う
But if the
心の
mind is
強さがあ
strong,
れば、
is enough,
小康
but
状
the
態
mind
を
is
維
strong
持する
enough
こと
to
も
make
あるの
to
です。
compensate for that weakness. The effects of one's condition can sometimes remain in a subdued state.
体はともかく、
So you're saying
お
that
心はま
even
だ
if
し
his
っかり
body
し
is
てい
weak,
て、意
his
気
mind
健
is
康
still
でいらっしゃ
firm
れる
and
ということ
spirited.
ですね。
キリエ、
Kirei,
すまんがしばらく
but
黙って
please
て
stay
くれ。
quiet for a bit.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
さようです。
That's correct.
金蔵さんの
Kenzo-san's
体
body
は
is being
すっかり
overwhelmed by
病
the
魔に蝕
by
ま
the
れており
demon
ま
of
す。
ill health.
ましてや、あのような
This will
強い
hold
お酒
especially
を
true
た
as
しな
long
まれ
as
続
he
けては、
continues to
と
partake
ても
in
と
such
て
strong
も。
alcohol.
崖っぷちなのも
So
酒のせ
he's
い。
in a crisis now because he drinks.
流らえ
And
て
he
るの
may
も
still
酒のせい。
live as long as because and maybe he still lived this long because he drinks.
酒豪の親父
There's
らし
that for
い。
you, the heavy drinker.
それで
Well
先
then,
生、
doctor,
も
I
ち
don't
ろん
know.
見込みで
I
結
don't
構なん
know.
で
You
すけ
can't
ど
give
も、
anything more than a prediction.
お父様、
What do you think
来
about
年の今日
father's
までは
chances of
さ
living
すがに
until
どうかし
this
ら。
next year?
当主様に対して
That's
あま
quite
り
a
に
rude
無礼な
question
質
to
問です
ask about the family head. That's quite a rude question to ask about the family's head. Natsuki jumped on Eva, not even bothering to hide her astonished expression. Eva stared back daringly, but Hideyoshi realized what was going on and tried to smooth things out with a forced smile.
ああ、夏井さん、カニーナ。
Natsui-san, forgive her.
エヴァ
Eh,
お前も
choose
少
your
し
words
言葉を
more
選ばん
carefully,
か
okay?
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
お父様の容体が気になって仕方なかったもので。
そうですか。
Is that so?
それは気づきませ
I
んでした。
hadn't realized.
南條先生
Dr. Nanjo,
聞かせてやってください
please tell us.
父親の寿命を
For the
気
sake
遣
of
う
the
娘
beautiful
の
love of
麗
a
しい
daughter,
家族
worry
愛
about
じゃないですか
her father's lifestyle. Kraus laughed sarcastically, and Ava smiling sweetly, returned a identical chuckle.
来年までお元
You
気か
asked
と
whether
いう
he
質
will
問です
still
が
be healthy next. You asked whether he'll still be healthy next year.
医者の
But
私と
as
し
a
ては
doctor,
とても難
it's
しい
very hard to say.
この小康
Because
状
while I
態
do
が
think this
まだし
flow
ばら
in
く
his
は続くように
condition
も思
will
います
continue
し
for a while,
何らか
if
の
he
発作が
suffers
来れ
some
ば
kind of fit,
その時にはどうしよう
there
もな
may
い
be
か
nothing
も
we
しれ
can
ませ
do.
ん何しろ六軒島
After
は
all,
孤島です
Rokunjima is a solitary island.
すぐに救急車が飛んでこれ
It's
る
not
わ
though
け
an
ではあり
ambulance
ま
could
せん
quickly jump in to save him.
本来ならば
Normally, I
今
would
度
want
の
to
しかる
have
べき
him
大
placed
病
in
院
a
に
large
入院していただきた
hospital
いところなの
on
で
the
すが
mainland, but
親父殿は高
father
尚な
stated
研
that he
究
does
を
not
中
want
断
his
されたく
noble
ないと
research
仰せだ
interrupted.
去年無理に連れ出そうとしたの
See,
が
he
後
holds
に
a
なった
grudge
ら
over
しい
the way we tried to force him out last year.
外へ出れば病院に
Apparently,
閉じ込め
he
られて
strongly
しまうので
suspects
はない
that
かと
he'll be
ひ
shut
どく
away
お
in
疑いに
some
なられてい
hospital
てな
if he goes outside.
すっかりこ
And
の
that's
ざ
how
まなの
things
だ
are
よ
now.
南條先生の診察は受けておられるの？
親父殿は南條先生には心を許しておられる機嫌
It
が良
seems
け
he
れば
can
診
be
察も
summoned
受けられるよ
in
うだ
one of
が
the
ね
better moods.
容体を見
I
ま
can
すが
examine his condition.
薬を勧めようと
If
も
I try to
入
recommend
院を
medicine
勧め
or
ようとも
hospitalization,
聞き入れ
he
てくれ
refuses to listen.
本当に
I've
見る
relied
だけ
only,
ですがな
I've really only been able to look.
お医者嫌い
True.
の方もおる
Some
もん
people hate
や
doctors.
しかし
Still,
困ったもんだの
Nanjo sighed deeply. The purpose of the examination to determine what medical treatment would be appropriate. Receiving an examination and then not following the advice given makes the whole thing pointless.
つまりおさらいすると
So, to sum it up,
相変わらず
he's
余命
still
は
expected
3
to
ヶ
live
月
3 more months.
禁止のまま
There's no way to guess how
あとどれ
long
だけ
he'll
長らえ
continue
る
to
か
live while
見当も
still
つかね
on
え
the
って
verge
こ
of
と
death.
ルドルフさん、
Udo-san,
言葉を少し
you
慎まれ
be a
てはい
little
かが
more
ですか？
discreet with your words.
ああすまんな
Ah, sorry.
昔からこう
I've
いう
always
口の
felt
聞
this
き
way.
方なんだ勘弁して
Give
く
me
れ
a break.
南條先生のご意見は分かり
Dr.
ました。
Nanjo sees it.
クラウス兄
What
さんか
about
ら
you,
見て
Klaus, Nisan?
どうなの？
実を
To
言
be
うと
perfectly honest,
南條先生とは異なる意見だねとても余命
I
3
find
ヶ月
truly
の
difficult
重
to
病
think
人
the
とは
father
思
as
え
a
ないという
person
のが
to
本心だ
so sickly he has only 3 months to live.
怒鳴り声は
His
相変わらず
yell
健
is
在
healthy as ever,
でいつぶん
and
殴
I
られ
still
るかと
get
ヒヤ
chills
ヒ
at
ヤ
the
し
thought
た
of
かも
his
しれんよ
fist raising down on me.
長男にだけ親父
Pushing
の
that
世
care
話を
of
押
your
し付ける
father
の
solely
は
on the
実に
shoulders
フェア
of
では
the
ないね
oldest sibling is far from fair.
来世で
And
は
the next
俺よ
world
り後に生まれろよ
get born before me.
さて
Okay,
話を
let's
戻
get
そう
back
ぜ
on track.
そんなわけで
So, in the opinion of our
公正中立な
impartial and
お医者の
neutral
先生の
doctor,
見解じゃ
it wouldn't
い
be
つお
odd
隠
for
れ
him
に
to
なっ
go
てしまっても
anytime.
おかしくない状態だ兄貴には悪
No
いが
offense to you,
ここは専門家の意
but I
見を
rather
採
trust
用
the
させて
opinion
も
of
ら
an
うぜ
expert in his field.
となりゃ決して親父の財
Which
産を
means
話し合
that
う
it's
ことは
definitely,
時期尚早で
which
は
means
ないっ
it's
てこ
definitely
とさ
not too early to start talking about dad's assets.
お父様の個人資産はおそらく数百億にも届くでしょう
Father's
ね。
personal funds probably reach as high as several 10 billion yen, right?
でもそれ
But
は
it's not as though
綺麗な
that
現
all
金で揃ってるわ
gathered
けじゃ
has
ない
ready
わ。
cash.
お誕生会のケーキみたい
It's
に
not about
綺
simply
麗に
cutting a
ナイフが
birthday
入って
cake
カ
with a
ットでき
knife.
るほど単純じゃないでしょ
姉貴の例えは面白いね。
That's an interesting way to put it.
そうさ。ケーキ
That's
の上に
right.
は
You sometimes
イ
get
チゴやチョコ
strawberries
の
or
家らが乗って
chocolate
て、
on the
き
top
れ
of
い
the
に等
cake,
分
making
す
it
るのが
hard to clearly
難しい
cut
ことだっ
into
てあ
equal
るだろう。
parts.
それを加味してどういう風にナイフを入れるのか
Given
先
that
に相談しておく
given
のは
that, don't
大
you
切
think
なこ
it's
とだと思
important to
うぜ。
discuss beforehand how best to stick the knife in?
それを当主様が存命のうちからさも他界なされたかのように声
All
高に議
over
論される
discuss
皆
this
さん
as
の
though
気が知
the
れませ
family
ん。
head is dead, even though he's still alive.
あら、必
Come
要な話よ。
on. Does you see how important it is?
だって遺産相
After
続
all,
は
when the
その
time
時点
comes,
で
the
直ちに
inheritance
行
of his
われなきゃ
fortune
なら
must
な
be
いもの
carried
よ。
out immediately, right?
ましてや栄光ある
Moreover,
後ろ
the
宮家の
glory of
財産は
Ushimiya
莫大。
houses, wealth is vast.
事前に入念な
Don't
相
you
談が必要な
understand
ことはお分
that
かりでしょう
careful
が、
discussion is necessary beforehand?
当家
There's
の
a
資
huge
産は
difference between this
あなた
family's
のご実
resources
家とは大
and
違
your
いなん
family's
だ
wealth.
から失礼な
Rude.
私の
My
実家は
birth
関係
family
あ
has
りませ
nothing
ん
to do with this. Nasuhi's responded indignantly, though through in a low voice, and the already dark atmosphere grew more hostile.
予算買えば
Shirus Ava,
夏日さん
Natsuhi
堪
san,
忍な
forgive us.
口が悪いのは許したってな
Hideyoshi tried to smooth things over by glaring at both with a forced smile, but it only resulted in making the hostility between Ava and Natsui even more intense.
これ以上はお邪魔なようですな。
It seems I'll just get in the way if I stay any longer.
失礼させていただきましょう。
Please, excuse me. Nanjo rose from his seat and exited the parlor. To an outsider, it may seem like a normal act of courtesy, but his back was watched by several glances, envious of his ability to escape. After the doctor had exited and his footsteps had disappeared into the distance, Kraus crossed his legs.
つまり
In
お
other
前
words,
たちの言い分
this
は
is
こ
what
う
you
か。
all would like to say.
親父殿の余命は
Father's remaining
短い。
life is short.
遺産分配
You
に
want
つ
to
いて
quickly
早
enter
急
into
かつ
a
具体的な
practical
協議に
conference
入りたい。
concerning the distribution of the inheritance.
何を
Why
焦って
are
い
you
る
so
のかね。
eager? I wonder.
確かにお前たちの言う通
As
り
you can say,
後宮家の財産を
estimating
算定し分配するのは簡
and
単な
distributing
こと
the
では
Ushimiya
ないだ
family's
ろ
wealth is no simple task.
う。なれば
In that case,
じっく
shouldn't
りと
we
算
make
定すべき
careful
じゃない
and
の
deliberate
かね。
calculations?
お前たちは今晩
It
のうちにも
seems
ケ
to
ーキ
me
を切り分
that
け
you
たいと
all
焦っている
are
ように見える。
impatient to split up the cake.
そうだろ
Isn't
う
that
ローザ。
true? Rosa?
何を焦る
What
こと
reason
が
there
あ
to
る
be
のか
hasty?
ね。
焦
Aren't
ってるわけじゃ
being
ない。
hasty.
でも
However, you need
兄
to
弟
have
の
an
間での
agreement
取り決めは
between
必要。
siblings.
それはいつでもいいことだけれども、
When we do that,
お父様の具合が悪
but
くなってい
if
て、
the day
その
father's
日が
condition
近づいてい
worsens,
るとい
is
うなら、
approaching,
先に話だけしておいて
discussing
も
the、matter
それ
beforehand
は請求とは
probably
言わない
seems
と思う
hasty
し
to。me. Rosa shot a glance at Ava and Rudolph. As the youngest sibling in the family, it was hard for her to be cross-examined by the eldest.
ほう。
Oh,
それはお前の本心
is that
か
your
い。
true opinion?
兄弟で
I
一
didn't
番
expect
素
the
直で
most
綺麗な
honest and
心を
pure
持っ
hearted
て
of
い
the
たお前
siblings
が
would say something
そん
like
なこ
that.
とを言い出すとは思えんね。そこ
I
の二人
wonder
に
those
吹き込まれたんじゃ
two
ないのか
told you to
ね。
say it.
よせよ兄貴。
Quit it, Nikki.
ローザだって兄弟
Rose
だ
is
ぜ。
one of Dad's kids too.
親父の遺産
She
に
has
公
much
平
right to
な権利
inheritance
が
as the rest of us.
関心を持つの
It's
は
only
当
natural
然じ
that
ゃね
she be interested.
えか。親父だっていつかは
After all,
必ず死ぬし。
Dad
それは遠い未
eventually
来の
die.
話でもない。
That's not something that will happen in the distant future.
むしろ兄貴
On the
が
contrary,
悠長すぎるくらいさ。
Aniki, you're way too relaxed.
まるで遺産分
It's
配
almost
か
like
ら
you like nothing
話
more
を
than
そら
to
したくて
turn
仕
the
方がないように
discussion
見える。
away from the inheritance issue.
それはどういう意味ですか？
That?
主人にやましいところがあるとおっしゃりたいのですか？
ま
Calm
あ
down,
夏井さん
Natsuki-san.
話は
Listen
聞い
to
て
what
お
we
く
have to
な
say.
兄さん、
Natsuki-san.
今は
Oh, yeah,
大
the
変
times have
強
been
気だそうじゃ
extremely
ない
good lately.
そうよ
Yes,
ね。
since last year,
去年以
it's
降
been an
空前の
unprecedented
好
balloon,
景気で円は上がる一方
and the yen keeps on rising.
ドルが100円に
It
至
seems
る
that
の
it's
だ
no
って
longer
夢
a
物
dream
語
that the
じゃな
dollar
さ
will
そう
reach
よ。
100 yen.
それに
True also.
与党は来
The
年頃
resulting
に
says
雇
that
用
it's
地整備法
established
を成立
health
させよう
resource
っていうじゃない
maintenance law by next year.
今や日本
At this
中の
moment,
リゾート開発会
resort
社が
development
どれ
companies
だけ
across
軍資金
Japan
を
are
集められる
running
かって
about
奔走
trying
し
to
てる
gather
と
as
ころ
much
よ。
funding as they can.
詳しいじゃないか。
You certainly know to know a lot about it.
これから日本には
Japan
空
is
前
about
の
to
好景
experience
気
an
が訪れ
unpredicted
る。
boom.
親父殿が後宮家を再興した時
It
と
will be a
同じ
repeat
く
of
らい
the
の
Korean War
大
demands.
規模な需要
The
拡大
time
の
during
時代
which
が
father
ね。
revived the Ushimiya family.
日本国民は死に
The
物
people
狂
in
いで
Japan
働
have
き、
been
高
working
度経済
like
成長を
mad,
実現して
working
世
like
界で
mad,
一番豊かな国
achieving
民とな
vast
り、
economic growth and
我が
becoming
世
the
の
most
春を謳歌
well-off
する
people
よう
in the
になっ
world,
た。
reaching the height of our prosperity.
国民の消費は増大
We've
し、
reached an era
それを
where
回収できる
private
施設
spending
があ
is
ぶく
vast,
銭を手にする
which
時代に
means
なった
easy
のだ
money
よ。
for instructions, easy money for institutions that can capitalize on that fact. Like institutions.
今や国民のニーズは3種の電
As
化
many
製品で
kinds
は
of
ない。
electrical appliances no longer represent the people's needs.
スキー場、
The people
ゴ
need
ルフ
ski
場、
resorts,
総
golf
合プー
courses,
ル、
public pools,
リゾートホテルにテーマパーク。
theme parks.
数年前に開業したデルゼーニーランドには行ったかね。
Is that? Is it like a localizer thing? It's funny seeing Disney marked. Disney being brought up in Umineko.
素晴らしい遊園地じゃないか。
What an excellent park. Maybe in the past, not nowadays, Klaus-san. Not nowadays. Nowadays, you could probably buy a Disneyland if you wanted to.
あそこでは大人も童心に帰り家族で楽しむことができるんだ。
It's a place where even an adult can be a kid and have fun with his family.
かつて家族を顧みずに滅私奉公することだけ
No
が美
longer
徳
do
だっ
we
た時代
count
はもは
our
や
soul
終わろう
virtues
と
be
している。
selfless devotion, while failing to care for our families.
我々は世界で一
We
番
become
豊
the
かな
most
国民と
prosperous
して、
people in the
よ
world,
うやくそれを享
and
受
now
で
we
きる
can
よう
finally
になっ
enjoy
た。
the benefits.
クラウス兄さんの読みは大し
Your
たもんや。
force is nothing to sneeze at.
わしも数年前に聞いた時はそんなアホなと思
I
った
thought
わ
it。was crazy.
でもな、
But when I
G5
heard
の
about
プ
the
ラザ合意聞いてから
G5
変わったん
nations
や。
Plaza Accord, that all changed.
円はみるみる
The
強
yen
く
shut
な
up,
り、地
and
価
I'll
は
bet
これ
the
から
price
天
of
井
land
知らずに上がるや
skyrocketed
ろ。
soon too.
日本が世界経済の中心になる日
It
も
won't be
遠くは
long
ない。
before Japan becomes the economic center of the world.
兄さんは時
Got a
代を
great
見る
sense
目
of
のある
direction
お
in
人
the
や。
world's moving, Kraus-san.
それだけは間
At
違いない
least
で。
there can be no debate about that.
秀吉兄さんに同じだ
I。feel the same as Hideyoshi-san.
兄貴は10年越しで時代
You
を
can
読め
read
て
into
る
the
よ。
next decade of history.
その嗅覚は親父譲りだろうな。
I bet you got that keen sense from Dad.
大したもんだぜ
And。it's incredible.
だが、
However,
親父と違
unlike
っ
Dad, the
て、
timing of your
ちょい
prediction
と
have
見
been
通しのタイ
off
ミングを読み違っ
sometimes.
ちまったところはあるよね。
Right? Oh no.
兄さんは必ず日本が好景気を迎えると
You've been
信
starting
じて
resort
あち
projects
こちにリゾート
everywhere,
計画を起
convinced
こ
that
し
Japan will soon
そ
see a
のほと
boom,
んどで失
but
敗し
almost
続
all
け
of
た
them
わ。
continue to fail.
兄さんの読み通りの時代は確かに訪れつつあるけど、その時期を読むことには失敗したわね。早すぎたのよ。そして焦って生産して結局は傷口を広げたわ。本当に嗅覚が当てになって好景気が訪れることを読めていたなら生産するわけない。これって兄さんが自分で自分の才能を信じてない証拠じゃないの？失礼な。主人を侮辱するつもりですか
？Nasui's forehead creased as she rose from the sofa. Ava, paying this no heed, stared at Kraus with a confident smile. Kraus, who also maintained his confident appearance, told Nasui to sit down. Please stop, Nasui. Ava's always been incapable of talking any other way. Calm down a little. Your headache will get worse.
兄さんに才能がない証拠は私たちのすぐ近くにもあるわよ。だって兄さん、この島をリゾート化するって張り切ってたじゃない？素敵なリゾートホテルも建てて、庭園もきれいに整備して。私は素人だから分かりかねるけど、相当のお金を使ったんでしょ。だからなんだというのですか？主人の事業はあなたとは関係ありません。
いや、そいつは違うぜ、Natsukiさん。六軒島は兄貴のものじゃない。親父のものだ。もちろん建てたホテルは兄貴のものだぜ。なんなら、俺たちは今夜の宿泊料を払ってやってもいいさ。な、ローザ。
What do you think, Rosa?
それはまあ、持ち合わせで足りるなら。
リゾート化できればこの島の資産価値は上がる。
This island financial worth will rise.
支出がかさんだことは事実だが、未来に大きな収穫を期待できる。そうなれば、結果的にお前たちにとっても有益なはずじゃないか。
それはわかるわよ。この島の価値が上がればそれを遺産分配する時の私たちの取り分も増えるもの。もちろん島や屋敷を4分の1ずつ切り取れとは言わないわ。それを算定したお金で解決してくれればいいだけの話よ。
そこまで分かっているなら、私の事業に何の不満があるんだね。
不満じゃねえさ。不安なのさ。第一兄貴。あのホテル、いつになったら開業するんだ。このままじゃ、俺たちの手垢だらけになっちまうぜ。
そうよ。大切な商売道具でしょ。確かに開業するまでずっと鍵をかけておくわけにもいかないわよね。少しは使って風通しを良くしないと建物は傷んじゃうもの。
Buildings go bad if you don't use them and they air them out every once in a while.
でも、私たちが年に一度泊まるだけのゲストハウスっていうんじゃ、ちょっと豪勢すぎやしないかしら。ねえ、ローザ。
そうね。あんなに素敵ならオープンしたらさぞや人気が出るでしょうね。
ああ、あなたが前に言ってたホテルってゲストハウスのことだったのね。
立派なもんだろう。ローザの言う通り、オープンできたら人気が出るだろう。
The lodging they'd been guided to wasn't originally intended to serve as a guest house. It was originally constructed as a resort hotel. However, even though it was built 2 years previously, there was still absolutely no prospect of it opening.
兄さんのいつもの
This
事
is
業
like
と
all
同
your
じよ。
enterprises.
着
Your
目や
attention
企
and
画
planning
は
are
ご
both
立派。
fabulous.
そしてい
And
つ
it
も
always
途中で立
becomes
ち行かなくなって
unmanageable
何
partway
も
through.
回収できず
And
に
it
終
ends
わる。
before you have a chance to earn any profit.
この島を
Your
ただ
brilliant
住む
use
だけ
all
にし
that
か
using
使わない
this
のはもったいない
island
っ
as a
て
place to
兄貴
live
の着
is a
眼は立
waste.
派さ。そしてリゾート化
I
して
think it was a pretty good
マ
plan
リ
to
ンス
turn
ポ
it
ー
into
ツ
a
やらフィッ
resort
シングや
that
ら
could use the
ハネムー
prospect
ンや
of
らを誘
marine
致して
sports,
盛り上げよう
fishing,
ってのは
honeymoons,
なかなかいい
and
絵
the
だっ
likes
た
to
と思
attract
うぜ。
customers.
俺だって長男
If
だっ
I
たな
were
ら
the, oh,
この島を何かに有
if
効
I
利
were
用
the
できない
oldest
かと
son,
頭をひね
I'm
ったに
sure I
違
have
いないさ。
strained my brain looking for a way to make a profit off this island.
でももう出来上がってか
But
ら
2
2
full
年も
years
経
have
つの
passed
よ。
since you finished the building, right?
2年経
After
っ
2
ていまだ
years,
に
you
開
still
業
haven't
の
had
めどはつか
opportunity
な
to
いの？
open it.
任せてる管
Where's
理
the
会社
managing
はど
company you
こ？
entrusted it to?
失敬な。
Pretense.
それは主
There's
人の
none,
手落ちではありません。
that's none of my husband's fault.
主人の仕事を受けよう会社間でトラブルが生じているだけで、う
that my
ち
husband
はあくま
contracted
でも
with.
被害者です。
No matter how you look at it, we are the victims here.
しかしな
And yet,
クラウス兄さんが任せてる例のとこあまりええ噂は聞かんで。
はっきり言ってあげ
clear
なさ
about
い
this,
よ。
dear.
不払い
Do you
横
really
領
think
トラ
you
ブルで
wouldn't
計
hear
画が
about how
空
lack
中
of
分解
payment,
しちゃったって
embezzlement,
話。
and other issues
私た
that
ち
took
の
the
耳に
project
届かないとでも
disintegrating
思ってる？
mid-flight?
裏も取れ
We
てるんだ
didn't
か
have
ら。
evidence.
何の裏だか存じませんが、
What kind of
事
evidence
実無
could
根
be
です。
found? But it's all baseless.
観光業への
As new
新規
members
参
of
入に
this
は
tourism
方々へ
industry,
の根回し
it's
が必要に
necessary
なり
for
ま
us
す。
to lay the groundwork for various people.
相手が信
It
用
is
に足
also
りるかを
important to
測ること
investigate
も
the
大事です。
trustworthiness of our partners.
それに手間取っているだけに過ぎません。
It's merely taking us some time to meet that goal.
ホテルの
I
完成
admit
が
that,
早すぎ
and
て
my
勇み
rashness,
足
the
になった
hotel
こ
was
とは
completed
認
too
める。
early.
だが
However,
維持費が
it's
かか
not
っ
as
てるわ
though
け
we
じゃ
are
ない。
paying maintenance cost.
やがて大きな意
As
味
the
を持つ
foundation
布
will
石
eventually
だ。
become immensely significant.
嘘つけよ。
Liar.
生産し
I
たく
bet
て
you
も売
want
れ
to
ないだけだ
liquidate,
ろ。
but can't.
観光ルートの
After
確
all,
立してな
there's
い
no reason
何
for
もない
anyone
離
to
島
buy
に
such a
や
strapping
たら
hotel
豪華な
on
ホ
an
テルなんて
island.
買い手がつくわけもねえさ。
There's no reason for anyone to buy such an extremely exotic hotel on an isolated empty island without any established sightseeing routes.
それに事業に
And
集めた
anyway,
融資はどうなったんだよ。
what about all the loans you made for this project?
維持費はかからん
Even
で
you
も
are incurring
回線
maintenance
借金は
costs.
膨ら
The
む一
amount of
方や。
money that you can't return just keeps growing.
すまんがクラウス兄さん
Sorry, Kraus Nissan.
この島の
But I
開発計
investigated
画
the
の話
development plan
ちょいと
for this
調べさせても
island.
ろた
But
ん
I
や。
haven't investigated the development plan for this island a bit.
正直こっち
To
も
be
ええ
honest,
話は聞かへ
I
ん
haven't
ね
heard anything good either.
秀吉さん、
Hideyoshi-san.
確かに今の財政状況だけを見たらそういう
see
印
how
象
you
を持
might
たれ
be
るか
left
もし
with
れな
that
い。
impression by looking only at the current financial situation.
だが、これ
However,
は先行
this
投
is
資なのだよ。
this is forward-looking investment.
その読みを
I have
誤
no
り、
choice but
これ
to
までに
admit
多くの負
that
債
my
を生んで
prediction
しまっ
was a
たことは
mistake,
認め
and
ざる
that
を
up
得
until
ない。
now, several liabilities have been created.
だが、
However,
ようやく時代が私に追いついた。これまでに
I will
失った
soon
分は
regain
すぐに取り
everything
戻
that
せる。
have lost up to this point.
いや、それどころ
No,
か。
actually,
これまでの
all
投
the
資だってや
investments
がては
I have
私の
made
もと
until
に戻
now
ってく
will
る。
finally return to my possession.
そう例え
That's
るなら
right.、
放
Just
っ
like
た
throwing
地に
away
は
a
鮭
small
とな
fry,
り、
which
超えて
then
帰
becomes
っ
a
てくるよ
salmon.
うにね。
They will come back even bigger than before.
それは認めるで。
I'll accept that.
これから
Resort
リ
business
ゾー
will
ト
probably
業界
see
は
a
空前の
unpredicted
好
boom
景気を
before
迎
long.
えるやろ。これまでの負債を
Though
埋
I
められ
don't
るほ
know
ど
it
かは
will
わ
be
からん
enough to
が、
cover all your debt.
だがな、クラス兄さん。これまで散々負け続けた兄さんがどこから軍資金を調達したっていうのや。それも半端ない軍資金や。あれだけの穴を埋められる軍資金やで。
秀吉さんは何をおっしゃいたいのですか？
ああ、夏樹さん。ほんま怒らんといてえな。わしらも調べたんや。これまで負け戦続きのクラウス兄さんに最近の強気な莫大投資を支えられるほどの融資を誰ができたんか調べたんや。
結果いねえんだよ。弱り目と逆に張るのがマネールーレットの鉄則だ。兄貴はこの界隈じゃちょいと知られた弱り目さ。確かに時代は好景気を迎えようとしているが、これまでの兄貴の失敗とを天秤にかけて、その上で融資に値すると思う連中がいるのかって言ったら誰もいなかったのさ。
ならね、そのお金をどこから調達したのってことになるのよ。
興味深い話じゃないか。それで
あなた、このような暴言をいつまで放置されるつもりですか？
座れよ、夏日さん。単刀直入に言おう。兄貴は親父の個人資産を自分の事業に流用してる。これはほぼ間違いね。これが俺たちの誤解だってんなら、どうかぜひそれを解いてもらいたいもんさ。
ルドルフ、流用なんてもんじゃないわよ。これは横領よ。刑事告発できる立派な犯罪なんだから。無礼極まりない。仮にも後ろ宮本家跡継ぎの後ろ宮クラスに向かって信じられない暴言です。暴言じゃないわよ。図星でしょ。なんとか事業を成功させてこれまでの損失を埋めたいんだけど、その穴は広がっていく一方、博打の穴をさらに大きく張った博打で埋めたいだけよ。その軍資金がすぐ近くにあったなら手をつけるのは同意。はっきり言うわ。兄さんがしているのは横領よ。お父様に対する裏切りよ。しかるべき決着がついた後には司法に委ねることになるでしょうね。そんな輩に後ろ宮本家跡継ぎを名乗らせると思い。言うにこと書いて当主様への裏切りとは聞き捨てがたい。この栄光ある後ろ宮家の資金を渡る資格はもはやあなたにはありません。即刻ここを出て行きなさい。さあ、
Get out! Nasuya already reached the limits of her anger, shouted at Ava in a rage. She then pointed alternatively at Ava and the hallway, demanding that she leave. Ava took out a folding fan and fanned herself with it, glaring maliciously at Natsui, as though silently daring her to repeat what she said. However, her mouth was still smiling. curve into the shape of a crescent moon. In that unpleasant silence, Rosa gulped. Hey, Natsuhi-san.
誰に向かってそんな口をお聞きなの？無礼極まりない主人の妹に対してです。
exceedingly rude sister of my husband.
これ以上は私も本家の台所を預かる者として
cannot overlook
聞き捨て
any
なり
more
ま
of
せん。
this.
台所を預かる
In charge of the kitchen? Be silent!
この名ばかりに思うな
Lowly maidservant! Ava folded the fan with a snap and rose to her feet energetically. Compared to the elegance and playfulness she'd shown until a second ago, she was now unimaginably aggressive.
バカバカしい
How
お前が
foolish.
下がりなさい
You stand down!
この後ろ宮エヴァに
Before Ava of the Ushimiya family.
当主様の左肩を許されている後ろ宮家序列第3位のこのエヴァに下がれと
You tell me to stand down? Me, Ushimiya Ava, the third rank in the Ushimiya family hierarchy, and the one who allowed to sit at the left shoulder of the head?
身の程を知りなさい
Know your place.
そしてお前のそのみすぼらしい
And then look
姿を
at
鏡
your
に映
shabby
して
self
み
in
る
a
が
mirror.
いいお前の
Where
服
is
の
the
ど
symbol
こ
of
に
the
翼
one
が
wing? Where is the symbol of the wing on your clothes?
どこに
Why are
片
you
翼の
permitted
足
to
が
wear
許
the
され
one
ている
winged
のか
eagle?
貴様
Aren't
な
you
ど
nothing more than a
後ろ
borrowed
宮
wound?
家の跡継ぎを残すためだけの存在じゃ
Aren't
ない
you
の
nothing more than a borrowed womb to house the next successor of the Ushimiya family?
身の程をわき
Understand
ま
your
るがいい
place.
この
You
ゲス
common housemaid! Ava's face twisted hideously. At her words gouged into Natsui's heart like talons, wrenching at it. There were 100 ways Natsui wanted to respond. However, her anger and sorrow crushed her throat, and none of those words managed to make it to her mouth. Her anger had nowhere to go. It became a single hot tear that slowly dripped down.
なーに
Oh god, that face.
何か言い返したいなら
You have
ど
something
う
to
ぞ
say?
言い返しな
Don't
さい
you?
よ
Please do. Probably should remain quiet right here. Natsui.
ほーら
Come on. Ava faced her with a proactive gaze. However, Natsui could do nothing but tremble, her clenched fist quivering. Crowds quietly broke the powder cake tension. Stop the face. Stop the face.
夏日
Natsui,
席を外しなさい
leave your seat.
頭を冷やすとい
You
い
should go cool your head. Natsui, resenting the fact that her husband had not come to her aid, shifted the focus of her attack. Dear,
あなたは
don't you understand
さ
what
っ
they're
きから
saying
何
about
を言わ
you?
れているのか分かってるんですかこの人た
These
ちは
people
家
are
にことかし
basically
て
calling
あ
you a
なたの
traitor
こと
to
を
father.
お父様への裏切り者呼ばわりしているんです私たち
They
が
are
後ろ宮
making
家の
light
栄
of the
光
fact
を
that
守り
we protect the glory of the Ushimiya head family. This popped up. Okay, no, never mind. They are making light of the fact that we protect the glory of the Ushimiya family, even though we are constantly expending every effort to earn the glory from father.
お父様からそれを受け継ぐため日々高潔であろうとする全ての努力をないがしろにして踏みにじる。なんという聞きがたい暴言。あなたもあなたです。どうして言い返さないんですか。あなたが言い返さないから私が言い返しているのに、さっきからあなたは私に任せっきりで。
You've been putting the entire burden on me for some reason, for some time now.
その私
Now you tell me to go cool my
頭を冷やして
head.
来いなんて言うんですか。いつも私ばかり。私は
Even though I've always considered
い
this
つも
family
真剣
affair
にこ
so
の家のことを考
seriously,
えているのに、
you.
それはあなたは。
Oh no. I hate Natsui with her pride, but she has a point. She loves this family. She loves it, but she's constantly being told to know her place, basically. Natsu was already unable to hide her tears. She flew from the room in that state. After that, all that remained was a somewhat embarrassed mood above the parlor. When the sound of footsteps grew distant and silence returned, Kraus shrugged his shoulders slightly. I apologize for my wife. She's always been bad at controlling her emotions. It's even been rough for me.
あんなのに切り盛りされてたんじゃ、兄さんも気苦労が絶えないわね。
You suffer to no end, Nii-san. Natsui.
Autumn? 何でもありません。
It's nothing.
下がりなさい。
Leave me be. Natsui flew into her room and threw herself onto the bed, lamenting. Those heart-bursting sobs reached Kumasawa in the hallway.
おいたわしや奥様。奥様とエヴァ様は犬猿の中。
Enmity between her and Eva-sama.
このお二人の関係を説明するのは女の私にはとてもしんどくございます。後ろ宮家は血を特に重んじられますが、嫁いで家を出れば本来は序列から除籍されます。ですからエヴァ様も本来は秀吉様とのご成婚の際に除籍されるはずだったのです。ところがこれは誰のせいでもありません。ましてや奥様のせいであろうはずもありません。神様の気まぐれとしか言いようがありません。クラウス様と夏日様にはなかなか子宝が授からなかったのです。何しろ男尊女卑の後ろ宮家でございます。妻は跡継ぎを残すための道具。その妻が唯一の役割を果たせないのなら、もはや人間扱いなどされません。当時の奥様が親方様からどれほど責め苛まれていたか思い出すのも苦しい。そんな中、エヴァ様に秀吉様とのご結婚の話が持ち上がりました。エヴァ様は婚活でした。奥様がいつまでも身ごもられないことにつけ入って親方様に取り入ったのです。入り婿を取って自分が跡継ぎを産むと吹き込み、ご自分の席を後ろ宮家にとどまらせるよう認めさせたのでございます。後ろ宮家に嫁ぎ外様扱いの奥様と入り婿を取る形で血族として残ったエヴァ様は後ろ宮家の序列の中では雲泥の差。しかもエヴァ様は先にそれも男児をご出産されております。どれほど奥様の立場がエヴァ様の前で弱いものであったかお察しいただけますでしょうか。 奥様にとっては、もし自分がすぐに解任することができれば、エヴァ様の入り婿など親方様に認めさせずに済み、今日のエヴァ様の増長を許さずに済んだだろうという悔しい気持ちがあるに違いありません。
And Eva-sama wouldn't have been permitted to act as arrogantly as she did today.
しかし、それは奥様のせいであろうはずもない。すべては気まぐれな神様とジェシカさんをお届けすることが遅れたコウノトリのせいなのでございます。だからといって奥様にはそうと割り切れるはずもない。ただただ妻としての責務を全うできなかったことに女として悔し涙をこぼすしかできないでしょう。はあ、老いたわしや、私には何もできず、こうして物陰から見守ることしかできないのです。
Damn, that was an intense insurance argument. Like, I know this argument happened, but the voice acting really just sells it so much more than the normal written word. Oh, why are they playing Hope again? Give me 1 second, guys. I need to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Really, this one? No, I will just leave this on so you guys go listen to Hope. Listen and enjoy! I go back. Okay, I'm back. Alright, dumb cringy joke. Listen to the seagulls. Alright, let's get back to it. We cross the hall again on our way to the entrance. As we did, we once again spot the witch's portrait. However, spotted is probably not the best word to describe that experience. It was more like our eyes were extraordinarily drawn to it. How could you not be to it? It's Beto. That woman's eyes, with their sage-like glamour, definitely had the power to make those who viewed it stand rooted to the spot. So, this is the witch Beatrice. Wonder if that story's true. Battler doesn't believe? Battler doesn't believe in witches. No. Back when he had asked what this picture was, the first person to tell him had been Maria. Therefore, when Battler showed signs of doubt, Maria must have felt that Battler didn't have faith in her. Of course, that wasn't what Battler meant. Maria ran up to the portrait and began banging on a plate hanging below it. Maybe the title of the portrait was written there. Maria, trying to prove that she wasn't lying, obstinately continued to hit the plate. Ah, I can see it right there. It's right next to her. Sorry about that. It's not like I doubt anything you said, Maria. When he patted Maria's head and apologized, she seemed to accept it, sticking out her chest and proudly, ooh. What's this? My beloved witch Beatrice. Behold the sweet fish river. What's with this weird epitaph? The plate did have the title of the portrait written on it, but it was much too big to contain only that. Beneath the title was what appeared to be a long epitaph. If you just skimmed over it, several unnerving words would jump out at you. Incredible, isn't it? Grandfather had that name. Pretty deep, huh? I know. It's the place where the gold's hidden. It's the place where the gold's hidden. Wait. Is that story about the Umineko family hidden gold? Now there's nothing. Ugh. Now there's another thing I remember from long ago. Hold on. Aniki, is this for real? Grandfather has his name, but he never said anything about this picture of or the epitaph. Even so, amongst the family, it's often whispered that it indicates the location of grandfather's hidden gold.
この謎を解いた者に家督と黄金のすべてを譲るという意味ではないかともっぱらささやかれてるよ。
I heard that too. Lots and lots of gold. Lots and lots of gold. Something like that. Something like 10 metric tons of gold. I think it's fake.
しかしよ、
こんな碑文を読んじまうとマジかって気になっちまうな。
It
almost seems real. I think I already explained grandfather's upbringing. But let me also mention the Ushimiya family's legend of the gold. Grandfather succeeded the Ushimiya family after it was destroyed in the Great Kanto earthquake. And by successfully riding the stormy seas after the war, he managed to accumulate great wealth. That much of the story everyone knows. However, this is where the strange part begins. Part of it involves grandfather's black magic obsession, so its credibility is extremely low. But, well, wait until the end before you doubt or make fun of it. After the war, grandfather correctly predicted what the future would hold and won in a huge gamble, accumulating a vast storage of wealth. But there is a mysterious legend about how he gained his initial funding. Grandfather came from a branch family and had no connections in the business world or financial world. Even though he later built connections with the occupying forces, he supposedly started as a nameless person who hadn't yet gained anyone's trust. It takes trust to gather money. There's no way anyone would lend money to someone they didn't trust. However, how did grandfather, who had no reputation at all, manage to obtain his first vast chunks of funds? When asked that question, grandfather supposedly answered like this. On a certain day, I encountered the golden witch, Beatrice. Grandfather then went on and on about his accounting research into alchemy and techniques for summoning demons in order to become a great magician. And the entity summoned as a result of the demon calling ceremony. One second. And the entity summoned as a result of the demon calling ceremony was the Golden Witch, Beatrice. He then apparently made a contract by which he would receive fortune and honor in exchange for his own soul. The witch then granted grandfather 10 tons of gold. Grandfather used this gold as collateral to prepare a vast quantity of funds, which he then used to multiply his wealth and many times over receive the Ushimiya family. It seems this story so old that even our parents were told it when they were still children. So back when our parents were young, they explored this island in all sorts of ways, believing that the gold grandfather had received from the witch might be hidden somewhere. However, since there was the danger of them getting lost in the abandoned forest, grandmother began to spread the story that the witch lived in the forest, and approaching it was forbidden. I remember that old story. When we were little, we also went all over the island searching for treasure. Our parents told us Didn't we get lost in the forest once and started crying until some of the servants found us? Our parents got so mad. Dang, that takes me back. We sure were idiots, weren't we? After all, grandfather only bought this island after using those funds to get rich, right? That means he must have the gold before coming here. There's no way the gold's on this island. That's not necessarily so.
その黄金が元からこの島に隠されていて それを確実に自分のものにするためにこの島を丸々買い取ったとかね。何しろ10トンもあるんだもん。安全な場所に移すより隠し場所そのものを確保する方が現実的だよ。
この碑文を書かせたのは2年前。それもじいさま自身ってなると。なるほど。黄金伝説も信憑性が増してくるじゃないか。じいさまが後宮家復興の資本金にしたという魔女に授けられた黄金が10トン。そいつがどこかに今も眠っていて、じいさまはこの謎を解けたやつに全部を譲ろうって、そういうつもりなのかもしれない。へえ、じいさまらしいセンスというか、なんというか。マジならなんとも景気のいい話だぜ。
The epitaph carved into the plate was very mysterious. It was something like a poem or a song written on it. The text was incredibly disturbing, filled with signs of grandfather's black magic hobby, and his contents were in truly bad taste. But it could definitely be viewed as a puzzle, which, if solved, might lead the way to the goal.
そういうつもりなのかどうか、おじいさまの胸中は想像もつかないけどね。
Whether that's what he intended or not, I can't even imagine what his true motives might have been.
一つ言えるのは、このうさんくさい碑文をおじいさまは一族全員に告示するかのようにここに掲示したこと。そして黄金の存在はほのめかしながらも、未だにその隠し場所について一切触れないこと。そこから親たちが想像を膨らませて、おじいさまの知恵比べに違いないって言い出した。
These facts then were embellished by the imaginations of our parents, who were convinced that grandfather was challenging us to a battle of wits.
欲の皮が突っ張ってる。うちの親父あたりだろうぜ。こんな弱いことを真に受けてるなんてよ。じいさまの黒魔術趣味はバカにしてるくせに、この隠し黄金の話だけは信じてやがる。
But he'll still believe the story about the hidden gold.
調子のいい話さ。
It just sounds so good.
確かに現実的な話じゃないよね。当時無名で何のコネクションもなかったおじいさまに無償で莫大な金塊を融資する人物なんているわけがない。それがいたからこそ、おじいさまはそのスポンサーを魔女と呼んだというなら考えられない話じゃないけど。
でもよ、10トンだぜ、10トン。
10 tons.
一体現金に直したらいくらくらいになるんだ？っていうか、とんでもない量になるはずだぜ。
とんでもない量だよ。人類が有史以来発掘した黄金はせいぜい10万トンって言われてる。
100,000 metric tons at most.
人類の歴史が手にした黄金の1万分の1を個人が手にしてるっていうのはとてつもないことだよ。それが一箇所にあり、しかもそれをおじいさまにポンと貸し出せるような魔女。ただものじゃないね。
私はよ、その10トンって数字ももはや嘘くさいと思ってるぜ。第一よ、じいさま以外に見たやつはいないんだろ。仮に気前のいい魔女が実在して黄金を貸したとしても、それは10は10でも10キロぐらいの間違いじゃねえのか。10キロでも相当いい金額になるはずだぜ。
10キロの黄金っていくら？
How much? Maria, who wasn't following the story, it felt like she was being spoken to in riddles, finally found a place where she could ask us a question. Aww. It was a question I also wanted to answer right then. Whether it was 10 kilograms or 10 tons, it still felt like a huge amount, but I had no idea exactly how huge. George Sakini folded his arms and tried to remember the market price of gold. Well, even the value of gold is affected by the market, and the value of physical gold can change depending on its purity and the trustworthiness of the foundry. Also need to pay handling fees to cash it in. However, it's a fact that it's a precious metal, and some people estimate that humanity will mine all the world's gold within half a century if gold mining continues at its current rate. Just guessing haphazardly, I think the price about 2 million yen per kilogram. Oh boy! Let's do a little Google search real quick. A little Google search. 2 million. Let's see what that is. 2 million yen to USD. That'd be 13,372.56 Ooh, that's a pretty penny. That's a pretty penny. That's a beautiful penny if I ever did see a penny. Oh! Just now, I rarely said 10 kilograms since it sounded smaller. But even that would be worth 20 million yen, wouldn't it? Which means that if we had Maria's chance weight in gold, we could estimate its worth to be over 50 million yen.
そりゃたまげるな。
Let's do a little double take. Let's turn that 2. Change that 2 to 50. $334,314. Ooh boy. Oh boy, gold mining sounds like a pretty good job about now.
10トンならいくらだ?
How much would 10 tons be? Stop making me research.
10キロで2000万が1000倍だから。
10 kilograms is 2 million yen, which multiplied by 1,000, so
200億円か。
20 billion yen.
こりゃたまらねえや。
How much is 20 billion yen actually worth? We can only measure it relative to our pocketbooks. I can do a quick little check for you guys. Is it 20 million? 20 billion. Oh, 20 billion. Let's see. I can do it. 20 billion. 133,725,600 US dollars. Woo! Woo! I don't think I ever seen that kind of money before. I don't think I've ever seen that number before either. Woo! Anyway, let's say that a person's wage is over a lifetime or about 20 million yen. You grew up, work like crazy, sacrificing your life for your company, and you finally free your approach as you approach old age. Everything, including retirement money, might add up to about 20 million yen. In other words, that's the amount of money that'll be made through a human's life. No, you could even call it the value of a life. So, 100 times that sum is an unbelievable amount of money. If you work from 20 to age 60, that's 40 years of work. So, it equals to 4,000 years work wages. If you worked every day starting from the Yohem period, you'll only reach the number from down. You only reach the number about now. Is 20 million billion a lot? Yeah, it's a lot. Maria, you love shortcake, right? You could buy more shortcake than you could possibly eat for the rest of your life. However, while that might be possible with 20 billion yen in cash,
それと同等の金塊が一ところにあるなんて
I think it'd be
とても
very
現実
realistic
的
to
とは
have that
思えない
much
ね
in gold bars in all one place.
さっきも言った通り黄金は非常に
Just
重
as I
く
said,
て
gold is
財産を
extremely
まとめておくには
so it
ちょっと
isn't
便利
exactly
とは思えないよ
convenient as a method of storing wealth.
ものすごい
Sure,
額
you
面の
could
有価証
imagine
券と
someone
か
gathering their
ものす
fortune
ごく価
together
値のある
as
宝石と
incredible
か
high value stocks
そういうものな
or
ら
precious
考えられなく
gems.
もないけれど戦時中
You'll
の混
often
乱期に
hear
自分の資産を
people
持ち
who
運べる
trade
よ
their
う
wealth for
全
precious
て宝
gems
石
so
など
that
に変え
they
た人
could
たちが
carry
いたのは
around with them
有名な話
during
だ
the
からね
chaotic times of the war.
でも黄
But
金
you
で
don't
資産を
really
備
you
蓄した
don't
という
usually
の
hear
はなかな
stories
か
of
聞か
people
ない
exchanging their wealth for gold.
確かに
It
重
may
いけ
be
ど
heavy,
よ
but
国
it's
際
the
的
most
に
trusted
一
and
番
stable
信用
form
さ
of
れて
wealth
て 価
in
値も
national.
安定してるし
So maybe
意
that's
味は
what's
あるんじゃ
important.
ないのかな証券と
For
かだったら
example,
国が
bonds
滅
are
びち
just
まったら
scraps of
紙切
paper
れにな
if
っ
the
ちまう
whole
わけだし
country goes under.
そういう考え方もある
You
ね
can also look at it that way.
でも
But
10kg
even
のイン
one
ゴット
10
一つでも
kilogram
体
ignite
感
is
重量
pretty
は
heavy
相
to
当
carry
のものだ
around.
よ聞いたことな
Haven't
い
you heard?
50kg の人間は背負えても
A 50
50kg
kilogram
の俵は
person
担
can't
げない
carry
って
a 50 kilogram bag over their shoulder.
それだけの莫大な重量の
With
金塊
that
を
many gold
個人が
bars,
所
the
有す
amount
る
of
リスクと
labor
手
and
間は
risk for the
計
one
り知れない
person
ね
would be hard to calculate.
ってことはつま
So what you're
り
saying is, well, it's
200億
one
円の
thing
札束が
if
う
he's
なっ
had
て
a
るって
stack
話ならともかく
of banknotes for 20 billion yen.
200億円分の
20
黄金が
billion
山
yen
積
in
み
the
にな
gold
ってる
bars
って
would
のは
be such
ち
a
ょい
big
と現実味
mountain
がない
that
わけだ
practically
な
kind of pointless.
そういうことになるね
That's right.
黄金伝説なんて響
Although
き
the
はとて
legend
も
of
面
the
白いん
gold
だ
does
けど
have a pretty interesting
そ
ring
もそ
to
も
it,
10トンの黄
just
金
the
という
part
時点
about the
で
10 tons of
少
gold
々
makes
無理
it
がある
pretty
ね
much impossible.
そうやってリズ
And
ム
if
で
you
考
think about
え
it
ると
logically,
み
like
るみ
that,
る嘘くさくなっていく
it
ぜ
sounds obviously fake.
夢
Gonna
のない
brings it
話
back
さ
down to reality.
でも
Anyway,
そこは何しろ
That's grandfather for
あ
you.
のおじい様だからね親切な
maybe
お
he
金持ちからの
exaggerated
融
the
資を
story
大げさに
of
吹聴して
some kind.
魔女から
Wealthy
授かった
person
10
gave
トン
him
の
a
黄
loan by
金
saying
なんて
he
例え
got
方をしたの
10
かも
tons
し
of
れないよ
gold from a witch.
10トンという
Even
数
the
字も
number 10
象徴的な
tons
感じが
feels
するし
pretty
ね
symbolic.
つまり
You mean like
借りた
grandfather?
金のありがたさは
You mean like
10
his
トンの
gratitude
黄
for the
金に
money
匹
he
敵する
brought
価
was
値があ
worth
っ
10 tons
た
of gold or
っ
something.
てなことだな
Maybe
じい
some
様
rich
に
man's
大金持
leisured
ちの
wife
勇敢マダ
generously
ムが
granted
気
it
前よく恵んで
to
くれ
grandfather.
てその後夫
And
人
maybe
を
he
魔
started
女
calling
と
this
呼ん
person
だっ
a witch.
てことじゃねえのか
I see. Jessica's example isn't bad. Someone who generously lent a huge sum of money to grandfather when he still had no reputation might be called a witch. Furthermore, grandfather actually did use that money to build a vast amount of wealth later on. The fact that this person was so great at judging people might also justify calling her a witch. Also, since she went to the trouble of lending all of that money, she might enthusiastically oversee how it was spent. The decision to unexpectedly get involved with the upcoming forces and profit from the Korean War demands might have been inspired by the witch herself. That might explain why he claimed to have received both wealth honor from her.
なるほどな。
I see.
ってこと
So
は
in
つ
other
まり
words, this witch
この
lent
魔女様
grandfather
は
the funds
後ろ
necessary
宮
to
家復興の
revive
ための
the
資金
Shimie
を恵
family,
んでくださっ
and
た
he owes her big time.
この大恩人ってわけだ。となりゃ
And
じい様が
then
感謝の
he
気持ちを
felt
込
so
めて
grateful
こんだけ
he
でか
had
い絵
that
を描かせて
huge
掲げさせた
painting
ってのも
drawn and displayed.
なるほどおかしい話じゃないのかもな。
It's not that crazy of a story.
ひょっとすると
It
よ
is even possible
当
this
の本
person
人は見るから
is
に
an
魔
old
女っぽい
granny
ばあさんだったかもしれ
like
ない
a
ぜ
witch.
それをじい様が美化して
Maybe
こん
grandfather
な美人に
idolized
描いて
her
くれたって
because
のは考
he
え
had
ら
her
れる
drawn
話
to
さ
look so beautiful.
あ
Oh,
んや
but if he
当
ever
の本
did
人に
meet
会って
this
みたら
person,
こんなに美人じゃない
he'd
か
be
もしれね
nearly
えな
this pretty.
ありえるね。
That's possible.
ベアトリーチェって名前
The
は
name
いか
Beatrice
にも
sounds
洋風
pretty
だけど
Western.
僕たち
When you
一
think
族の
about
名
it,
前がみんな
think
洋
about how
風であるこ
everyone in
と
our
を考
family
える
has
と
Western names.
このベアトリーチェっ
Maybe
て
this
名前も
Beatrice
日本人名
is
を
a result
無
of
理やり洋
grandfather
風にアレ
trying
ンジ
to
したものなの
rearrange
かもし
some
れないよ。
Japanese person's name to make it sound Western.
なるほどなるほど。
I get it, I get it.
この美人は
That means
絵の
this
中に
pretty
しかいない
girl
ってわけだな。
is just outside the picture.
それじゃああの
Guess
立
that
派そうな
means
胸
he
は
won't
揉
be
め
able
そう
to
にない
rub
ぜ。
those elegant breasts.
鼻から魔
In
女
the
なんてお
first
か
place,
しいんだよな。
isn't having witch pretty bizarre? In the first place, isn't having a witch pretty bizarre itself?
そんなのが地球上のどこにいるってんだ。
Like, you could find something like that anywhere on Earth. I laughed and made fun of the witch, trying to distinguish myself from the kid I was 6 years ago, who feared the witch of the forest, when Maria tugged on my sleeve. I could tell by how hard she pulled that she was a bit upset.
なんだよ、
What is it, Maria?
はーい。ベアトリーチェはいる。
Beatrice exist. Maria stared up at me. She had her usual sour look, but I could tell she was angry by the color of her eyes. How dare he? Of course she's angry. He assaulted her goddess.
魔女いる。
Witches exist.
魔女はいる。
Witches exist. Witches exist, Battler-san. Witches exist.
なんだよ。
Well,
そりゃいる
sure
だろう
they
よ
do。exist.
テレビをつけりゃア
If
ニ
you
メと
turn
か
on the
によ。
TV on and watch anime or something, exist. Witches exist. I started getting impatient, not knowing why Maria was jumping on me like this. Then Jessica tapped me on the shoulder and whispered,
バカだな。子供の夢打ち砕いてんじゃねえぜ。マリアは魔女とかベアトリーチェとかも確かに存在するって信じてんだよ。
確かマリアちゃんは学校の文集に将来なりたいものは魔女って書いたんだっけ？
What you want to be when you grew up. You wrote a witch, didn't you? Maria nodded seriously. Tears started to run from the corners of her eyes. I see. To a girl who wants to become a witch in the future. The existence of Beatrice was proof that witches do exist in this world, and was therefore an image that she yearned after and admired. Exist! Exist! Witches exist! But Battler doesn't believe! It's okay.
いるよ
Okay.
魔女は。
Witches do exist.
お兄ちゃん
I
は
believe it.
信じるよ。
George and Kenny kneeled down and hugged Maria's head. Watching this, Jessica poked my side. So, that's what this is. So, that's what it is. It's like shouting that Santa Claus doesn't exist in front of a child who believes in him on Christmas Eve. I'm not the kind of guy who likes to shatter kids' dreams. Sorry.
別にマリアの夢に
I
ケ
wasn't
チを
trying
つ
to
け
make
たわ
fun
け
of
じゃない
your
んだ。
dreams.
謝るよ。
So I apologize.
ベアトリーチはいるんだ。
Beatrice does exist.
今もこの島の森の
And
中
now
に住ん
she's
でい
living
て、
in the forest and
夜な
comes
夜な
to the
この屋敷
mansion
で
every
何を
night
や
to
ってる
peep
の
in
か覗き見し
and
に来
see
る
what
んだろ。
everyone's doing.
だから森には
So
入
you
っちゃい
shouldn't
け
go
な
into
い。
the forest.
夜はいつまで
At
も
night,
暗い
you
森
must
を
stare
眺めて
into
い
the
ては
dark
いけない。
forest.
森の魔女
You must be seen by the
ベ
witch
ア
of
ト
the
リーチェに見
forest,
つかってしまうかも
Beatrice.
しれないから。バサマ
After
が
all,
そう言ってたんだもんな。
grandmother said so.
本当に
Really?
本当にバトラーは
Butler
信じる
really believes?
おお、
Yep.
信じるぜ。
I believe.
ケチをつけて悪かった。
Sorry for doubting you.
ほら、
Come on,
仲直りしよう
let's
ぜ。
make up. I stuck out my hand. Maria grabbed it with her tiny hand, and we made up. Maria didn't grumble any more than that, so George, Akini, and Jessica were relieved.
あら、皆様ここにいらっしゃられたんですか。てっきり海
I
岸
was
へ
sure
行か
you
れた
had
とば
just
かり。
left to go to the beach. Sana-chan, carrying a basket, was surprised to find us all gathered in front of the portrait.
シャノンか。
Shannon!
いやさ、
Oh, this is
バ
the
トラ
first
ーは
time
ベア
Butler
トリー
seen
チェの肖
Beatrice's
像画を
portrait.
初めて見るからさ。まあ見とれてたってわ
He
けだ
was
ぜ。
just fascinated by it.
そ
That's
うで
right.
すね。
It certainly
見とれ
is
ちゃいますね。
fascinating.
ベアトリーチェ様って
Beatrice-sama is
本当に
truly
お綺麗
beautiful.
です。さぞや
I am sure
親
that she
方様を
captivated the
虜にな
master.
さったろうと思います。
パトロン
In
説
addition
の
to
他
the
にも
patron theory,
おじい様の
there's
初
also a
恋の
theory
人だ
that
という
she
説
was
もあるんだ。
grandfather's first love.
どちらにせよ彼女に
Either
出会
way,
ってから数
although
十年
it's
を経
been
ているだ
several
ろうにも
decades
かかわら
since
ず
he met her,
今なお
even
心の
now,
中に
she
大
holds
きく
a
居座
special
り続
place
けてい
in
るん
his
だから
heart,
それは
which
今な
must
お
mean
虜
that
にしてい
he's
るという
still
ことなんだろう
captivated
ね。
by her.
やれやれ。
Jeez.
これじゃ
That must
ばあ
make
様はさぞや
grandmother
嫉妬し
pretty
ただろう
jealous,
ぜ。
huh?
私はよく知らねえけ
I'm
ど、
not really sure.
やっぱりそういうのがあったらしいぜ。ばあ様は
Apparently,
金髪の
grandmother
浮気相手
believed
がい
he
ると
was
信じ
cheating
て
on
たら
her
しい
with
な。
some blonde.
いい匂い。 シャノンからいい匂い。
Maria, sniffing, approached the basket Shannon was holding with interest. After hearing that, I noticed a fragrance scent with a touch of vanilla.
申し訳ございません。
apologize.
熊沢さんか
I
ら
was told by
これを
Kumasawa-san
皆さんにお届けするようにことづかりました。
なんだろう。
What is it? I wonder.
素敵だね。
Excellent.
クッキーだ。
Cookies.
クッキー食べ
I want to eat cookies. I want to eat cookies.
お召
Please,
し上がりいただ
as
けま
much
す
as you
よ。
like.
でも、
But,
その
would it be appropriate to serve cookies in a place like this, in front of the portrait? Shannon-chan sent us a glare that seemed to ask what we wanted to do about it. Well, yeah. Guessing eating here would be a bad manners, generally speaking.
マリア、ここじゃなくてよそで食べようぜ。クッキーをお弁当
Let's
に
put the
ピクニッ
cookies
ク
in
に
a
行こう。
bento and have a picnic.
ピクニック行こう。ピクニック行こう。クッキー食べれるなら行こ
そうだな。
Yeah, let's go get some
ちょっと
fresh air.
表の空気を吸いに行くか。魔女様の
We
御前
shouldn't
で
stuff
つまみ食いもね
ourselves
えもん
right
だ
in
ぜ
front。of the witch.
そうだ。
That's right.
もともと私たち
You
は
said
浜
we
辺に行
wanted
こ
to
うって言って
go
たんじゃね
down
え
to
か。
the beach in the first place.
行こうぜ行こうぜ。
Let's go, let's go.
シャノンちゃん、
Shan-chan.
申し訳ないんだけ
Sorry,
ど、
but
腰を下ろせる敷物と水筒にお茶を入れてきてもらうのをお願いしてもいいかな。
う。
right.
かしこまりました。
Shannon-chan received her instructions and gratefully bowed before retracing her steps. Retracing her steps. We headed for the beach on our own. Everyone headed for the entrance in a group. feeling as though the witch was staring down at our backs. I turned around once more. You still don't believe? Nope. I believe. It's so much cooler that way. The golden witch Beatrice gave grandfather 10 tons of gold. And that gold might be sleeping around here somewhere. Besides, didn't grandfather write that strange epitaph? And though challenging us to find it if we can? I say that kind of adventurous story way better. 20 billion yen worth of gold, huh? If you split it up between the 4 of us, that's still a ridiculous amount of money.
1人頭50億円か。すごいね。
Incredible.
それだけあっ
With
た
that
ら
kind of
どん
money,
な事業で
we
も起
could
こせそう
probably
だよ。
make any sort of business prosper.
いや、
In
そも
fact,
そも
we could
働
live
か
our
ずに
whole lives
将来を優
fabulously
雅に過ごせ
without
るだろう
working
ね。
at all. I don't want 5 billion yen. I want cookies. Maria would
マ
take
リアには
cookies
金
over
より
money.
クッキーだな。しかし
Still, 5 billion yen,
50億円か。
that's like a dream.
夢のある話さ。
Well, the downward wipes for transitions.
バカバカしい。
Oh, oh god, we're back to the adults arguing. Ridiculous.
まさかお前たちは
Isn't it possible
親父
for
殿の黄金
that
伝
you
説
all
を
truly
本当に
believe in
信じてい
Father's
るのか
legend of the
ね。
gold?
魔女が
Of
黄
course
金
we
を
don't
与え
believe
た
that
云々は
story
さす
about
が
the
に信じねえ
witch
さ。
giving him gold.
だが黄
But there's
金
no
の
mistake
話だ
about
け
the
は間
gold
違いじゃない。
itself.
お
The
父
fact
様
that
が出
father
自不明の
obtained
金
gold
塊を持ってい
bars
た
from
こ
an
とは
unknown
複
source
数の筋か
has
ら
been
確認されて
confirmed
い
in
るわ。
several ways.
死んだマルソ
We
ーの
heard
会
that
長は生
before the
前、
president
お
of
父
the
様に某
Mafia
所で
company
積み上げ
died.
られた金
Father
塊を
showed
実
him a
際に見
large
せら
pile
れ
of
たとい
gold
う。
somewhere.
お父様はそれを
Father
指し
used
て
that man's
10
claim
ト
as
ン分ある
proof
とはっき
that
り
there
明
were
言した
10 tons
わ。
worth.
老いぼれのざれ言
That's
じゃ
just
ないか。
nonsense of a senile old man.
親父殿と
Although
一緒に
with father,
存在しない黄
he
金
was
の
just
存在を
fabricating
で
a
っち上げ
story.
ただけだ。取るに
You
も
can't
足ら
take
な
it
い。
seriously.
存在
If
線
that
黄
gold
金
didn't
に
exist,
穴いなく
he wouldn't
資
have
金
been
は
able
集
to
まらへ
gather
ん
so
で。
much funding.
会長さんは生
Before the
前
president
その
died,
真摯な
he
お
was a
人柄で
person with
あれ
such
だけ
a
大勢の
sincere
財界人から
personality
尊敬を
that
集め
he
たお人
earned
や。
the respect of many in the business world.
詐欺の片棒なんか担
He
が
wouldn't
へん。
have become a partner to such fraud.
兄貴、
Aniki,
マルソーの
the
会長
president
は
of
確
Mastro
かに見
definitely
たん
saw
だ。
it.
10トンの黄
10
金を
tons of it.
はっきり
Truly
と
with
そ
his
の
own
目で。
eyes.
しかも親
Even
父は
more,
そのインゴ
Dad
ット
let
の
the
一つを
president
任
take
意で
one
抜き取らせ
peanut at random
会長に持ち帰らせ
and
て
have it
鑑定させた。それは10キ
The
ロのイン
result
ゴッ
of the
トで
examination showed
鑑
that
定結
the
果は
10 kilogram ignot
純度
was
4ナイン。
99% pure.
インゴット表
He
面
said
に
the
は
Ushimiya family
後
crest
ろ
of
宮
the
家の家
one-winged
紋であ
eagle
る片
was
翼の
imprinted
足
on
が
it.
刻印されていたという。
後ろ宮の黄
Almost
金伝説は
instantly,
瞬
the
く間に
Ushimiya
財界
legend
の
the
フィクサ
gold
ー
was
たちの
spread
間
up
に広がった
alongside
わ。
the fixtures of the business world.
鋳造元不明
Gold
の
from
黄
an
金
unknown
は換金
foundry
率が
has
悪
a
い。
poor rate of conversion into money.
ボロ儲けのチャ
Thinking
ンスだ
that
と
it
思っ
was
た
a
彼らは
chance of
それを
device
担保に認め
profits, they set it as collateral.
お父
And as a
様は
result,
莫大な
father
利
was
子を
able
受
to
けるこ
receive
とが
a
でき
massive
た。
loan.
バカバカ
Is
しいに
there,
も
is,
程があるじゃ
is
ない
there
か。
no limit to the absurdity you're willing to accept?
お前たち
How
はいくつ
old
に
are
な
you
る
people?
まだそん
Are
な
you
子
still
供の頃
taking
の
that
おとぎ
nursery
話
tale
を
you
真に
heard
受け
as
ているの
children
かね。
seriously?
第
Where's
一、
the proof that this 10
その
tons
10
of
トン
gold
の黄金の証
even
拠はど
exists?
こにあるんだ。親父
Aren't
殿
you
と
just
親交の深かったごく
picturing
一部の人間のざれ
parenting
言
the
だけじゃ
lives
ない
of
か。
father and few of those close to him?
もちろん口
Of
伝
course,
だけ
it's
さ。
a story.
でもよ
But
兄
still,
貴、
Aniki,
親父が
the
調
amount
達
of
した
money
莫
they
大な
had
金は
raised required a
それに
suitable
見合う
amount
担
of
保が
collateral.
必要だった。仮に黄金がデマでも
Even the gold itself
そ
was
れ
just
に
a
匹
rumor.
敵する価値あるお
It is
宝
an
を親父
undoubtable
が見せた
fact
のは
that he
紛
showed
れ
them
も
a
ない事
treasure
実じゃねえのかい。
of comparable worth.
都市空間の親父殿が
It
作
was
っ
just
た
an
大
illusion of
物
money
幻
created
想
by
さ。
our penniless father.
ありもしない大
He
物
acted as
を
though
わずか
he
に振
actually
る舞
had
い、
gold
スポンサー
that
たちを
didn't
騙したんだ。
exist, fooling his sponsors.
一世一代の
It was
大
probably
博
the
打だった。
gamblings of a lifetime.
運よくその資産の運用
His
に
use
成
of
功
those
でき
funds
た。
proved successful.
もし当時の
The
外事
Korean
拡大
War
がなかったら
demanded
後ろ宮家の再興
hadn't
はなら
come,
ず、
and the Ushima family
親
had
父殿
been
は世紀の
restored.
ペテン師として
Father
追
would
われ
probably
ていただ
have
ろう。
been honored after the cook. Probably, just again. Then, if the Korean War demands hadn't come and the Ushima family had not been restored, Father would probably have been hounded after as the crook of the century.
じゃあクラウス兄さん
So you're
は
saying the
黄
gold never
金など
existed,
最初
and
から
Father
存
made
在
it
せず
all up.
全てお父さんの
もちろんさ。
Of course.
だから十
And
分
because
な
of all
成
that,
功を収
the
めた後
illusion
に
of
は
gold became a
黄金
mere
幻想など面倒
inconvenience
なだけだっ
once he
た。
achieved enough success.
だから親
That's
父殿は
why, later
魔女だ
on,
の黒魔
Father
術だ
added
の
all,
と
added
わけのわから
all
ない
about
こ
a
とを
witch
後
and
に
black
言い出して
magic,
信憑性を
weakening the
失った
credibility
の
of the
さ。
entire story.
つま
In
り
other words, he
黄
revealed that
金
the
幻想
illusion
が
of
でっ
gold
ち上
was
げ
a
であることを
fabrication.
明かしたのだよ。魔女に黄
If he
金を
claimed to
授かっ
have
たなど
received
と
the
言え
gold
ば、
from a witch,
もはや
no
誰も
one
黄
would
金の
believe
存
that
在を信
it
じたりは
actually
しない。
existed, right?
あるいはお
It's
前
also
たちのため
possible
に
he
言い
said
出
it
したの
all
か
for
もし
your
れない。
sakes. Nevertheless, here comes some stupid offspring wanting to divide up this non-existing gold along with the rest of the inheritance.
どうぞ。
Don't
ま
tell
さかお
me
前
that
まで
even you
こんなでっ
believe
ち
in
上げを信
fabrication
じてるっ
like
て言うん
this.
じゃないだろうな。
私は
Can't
お
prove
父様
whether
が
or
本
not
当に黄
father
金を持っていたかど
really
うか
had
を
the
確か
gold.
めることはできない。でも
I just
お
want to
父
claim
様の
my
4人の子
rightful
供の
share
一人として
as one of father's
正当
four
な分を
children.
主張したいだけよ。
Oh,
ロー
it
ザも
seems
言うよう
even
に
you
なっ
have
たじゃ
started
な
to
い
talk
か。
that way, Rosa.
なるほ
I see. So that's
ど。お
what
前
you're
たち
all
はこう
getting
言い
at.
たいわけかね。私
You're
が
trying
黄
to
金を
claim
独
that
り占め
I
し
am
よう
attempting
と
to
し
keep
て
all
い
the
る
gold for
と。
myself.
兄さんが莫大な軍資金を
Nisan,
調
you gather
達
a
したの
massive
は事
supply of
実。
funds, and that's a fact.
それがお父様の個人資産の横領では断じてありえ
If
な
you
いと
don't
いう
rule
な
out the
ら、
possibility that you've been embezzling father's personal funds,
つまりはそうい
there's
うこ
only
と
one
よ。
possibility left.
兄貴はすでに10トンの金塊を見つけてるんじゃないかって俺たち
So
は
you
そう
might
見
have
てるの
found
さ。
those 10 tons of gold bars.
バカバカしい。
Ridiculous.
そんなも
Such
の
a
は
thing
元
never
より
existed
存
in the
在
first
しない。
place.
じゃあ説明な
Then
さいよ。
explain yourself.
お父様の財産の
Was
横
the
領、
investment of
お父
father's
様の隠
assets
し
or
黄金、
father's hidden gold?
その
How
ど
could
ちら
you
でも
have
ない
gathered
なら、
so much
どう
funding
や
if
って
not
あれ
for
だ
one
けの
of those
軍資金を
methods?
調達できたっていうの？
私にも政界財界に友
Even I
人
have
が
many
多く
friends
いて
in the
ね。
political and financial realms.
彼らから
I've
協力を
earned
得
their
ただけに過ぎん
cooperation,
よ。
nothing more.
それについ
And
てお
on
前
that
たちに
matter,
説明す
I
る
have
義
no
務はない。
responsibility to explain myself to you.
分かって
You
いるだろ
understand,
う。
don't you?
話せぬ
There are
方
some
面の
topics
筋
that
も
not
ある。
be spoken of.
兄貴がそうだと言い張るんならそれでいい
If
さ。
you insist on that point, then all well and good for now.
でもよ兄貴、
But
親
Aniki,
父は長くない。
Dad doesn't have long.
来年の今日
Nobody
ま
can
で
be
生
sure
きてる
that
なん
he'll
て
live to see this
誰に
day
も保証でき
next
ねえん
year.
です。親父が死ねばその時点で遺
The
産相
inheritance
続。
process will begin at the instant of Dad's death.
俺たちは
We're
全
arranged for
員の立場
lawyers
から
and
中立な弁護士と
accountants who
会
are
計士を立てて
impartial to
親
all
父の財政状
of
況
us
を
and
調
have
査
them
させる
inspect
ぜ。
Dad's financial situation.
その時、お父様
And
の
at
資産
that
に
time,
兄
it
さんが
becomes
不
to
当な
light
干渉を
that
して
you
いることが
unjustly
発覚
interfered
し
with
たな
father's
ら、
money.
お分
You
かり
understand,
ね。
right?
何の話だかさっぱり
I
わから
don't
ん
have a clue what you're talking about.
妻でなくても
You're
憤
starting to
慨
make
し
me
たい
feel
気持ちだ
as Indian as my wife.
お父さんの
Of
横
course,
暴は
father goes
も
for
ちろんお
father's
父さん
fortune.
の財産や表に
We
出せん
understand
金や
his
っちゅう
money.
のも
You
分かっ
can't
とる
reveal openly.
しか
But
し
the four siblings
世
should
に
have an
公
equal
平な
right
権
to
利
it.
があるはずや
つまり兄貴
In
が
other
黄
words,
金を独り占め
we're
してい
gonna
ないか
have
どう
your
か
financial situation
兄貴につい
investigated
ても
as well
財務
as
状
that
況を調査
to
させて
determine
も
whether
らうぜ
you're
ってこと
hoarding the
なのさ
gold or not.
いい機
Isn't
会
that
じ
a
ゃ
great
ない。
opportunity?
兄さんの言うところの友人知人にバックアップしてもらったというところを証明なさいよ。私たちはくだらない疑いを持ってしまったことを一切よく謝れるわ。ねえ、ロー
Right,
ザ。
Rosa?
そうね。
That's right.
クラウス兄さんこそ
You're
話
the
をは
one
ぐらかし
dodging
て
the
るわ。
issue.
やましいところがない
You
と
are
いうなら
guiltless. You
証
could
明して
prove
くれれ
that
ば
you
いいだ
were
け
in
の
the
話
right,
なのに
but you
兄
aren't
さん
even
は
trying to do
まるで
so.
取り合おうとしてくれない。
だがまあ
However,
兄貴の立場にも
You
配
still
慮
have
する
to
さ
consider your position here.
親父の名代
As
という
dad
ことで
representative,
俺
you're
たちより一
probably
つ多
bearing
く
a
責任
larger
を背負
share
ってる
of
と
the
ころがある
burden
だろ
than
う
we are.
今まで散々
We've
気
been
楽に過
living
ごしてきた
terribly
俺たち
relaxed
が
lives
そ
until
れを
now,
察しないでブーブ
so
ー言
it
うの
wouldn't be
は
fair for
こ
the
りゃ
rest
フ
of
ェアな
us to
話じゃない
complain
ぜ
without taking your life efforts into account.
ほう
Oh,
さっき
it
から
seems
脅
you
され
cannot
たり
make
持
up
ち
your
上げら
mind
れた
whether
りと
to
忙
flatter
し
me
い
or shame me,
本題に入りたま
slander
る
me. Please get to the point.
つまりな
Basically, wrongly
お父さんの
investigating
財産をあれ
investigation
これ調べ
nitpicking
て
aspect of father's
重箱の
wealth
隅をつ
seems
つ
like
く
a
んは
pretty crude way
ブ
to
ス
go
やな
about
いかっ
it.
て話なんやクラウス兄さん
As
の言
you
う通
said,
り
Krause
うまく
Nissan,
説明でき
there
ん
may
金の
have
動
been
きもある
movements
やろ
of money that are difficult to explain.
そこを理解
We
した
come to
上で
consult with you
わしらは
today
兄さんに
while
相談を
fully
持ってき
aware
た
of
んや
that point.
お互いにとって悪
Both
うない
sides stand
相
to
談
gain
や
from talking about this now.
相談ほう
And consultation.
遺産分配
Where
費に
when the inheritance is
今日ま
divided,
で親父の面
you'll
倒
be
を見て
rewarded
きてくれ
your
た兄
years
貴
of
の
hard
ご苦労
work
を最
taking
大
care
限
of
に汲み
dad
取り
as an agreement
分配
that's
に寛
your
大な理解を
that's
示そう
generous
って
in
こ
your
とさ
favor.
間違
Don't
えないで
misunderstand
よ
us, son.
別に
We aren't
私たちの
saying that
権利を
we'll
放棄する
abandon our
って言っ
rights.
てるわけじゃないのよ。ただ
But when we
その
make
権
our
利を主張
claim
する
for
際
what
に
we deserve,
兄さんの
we might as
立場
well
に立った
offer
寛
a
大な
generous
理解があっ
understanding
て
for
もいいんじゃ
your
ないかしら
position.
ということなの
That's what we
よ。
mean.
つまり
In other words,
条件を
if you
飲んで
accept
く
our
れたら
conditions,
わしらは遺
then
産分
when
配
the
時に
inheritance
お
is
父さんの
divided,
財務状況
we'll
調査
leave
を
the
クラウス
investigation
兄さ
of
んに一
father's
任しても
financial
いいっちゅ
situation
うこっちゃ
to you, Cross Nissan. All the siblings from Ava downward suspected that Kraus was trying to steal their father's wealth. So letting Kraus report the state of that wealth was extremely contradictory and a huge concession. If, as they claim, Kraus was actually embezzling money, Kraus would be able to hide that fact. Besides, which it'd be possible for him to control the distribution of the inheritance in a manner favorable to himself. Kraus, realizing that this sounded too good to be true, couldn't help but feel suspicious. He couldn't help but worry about what they asked for in exchange. Oh.
信用
After
ゼロの私
misunderstanding
に
me complete,
長兄としての
you
信頼
now
を
say
返
that
してく
you
れる
are
というの
willing
か
to restore your confidence in me as the oldest sibling.
その見返りは何だ
What is it you want in return?
同じ兄弟としての
Just what
公
we
平
deserve
な
as
権利さ
siblings.
俺たち
You
の
aren't
兄
the
貴
kind
は
of person
親父の
who
財産
steal
をかすめ
dad's
取るような
property.
やつじゃない。だがしかし
But you also
兄
aren't
貴に
being
融資す
financed
るパ
by
トロ
some
ンも存
patron.
在しない。となりゃ
Considering all that,
つまりこうい
there
う
is
こ
a
とな
certain
ら兄弟は
explanation
納
that
得する
satisfies
わ
the
け
rest
さ。
of us.
兄さんは
You
10
found
トンの黄
10
金を
tons
見
of
つけ
gold.
それを
And
担
use
保に
it
軍
as
資金を
collateral
作った
to gather some funding.
そう
Yes,
お
just like
父様
father
が
did
か
in
つ
the
てそうし
past,
たように
right?
ね
そういうこ
If
とな
that's the
ら
case,
お父さんの財務状況におかしな点は一切あらへん。
there won't be any funny business in father's finances.
クラス兄
You've
さんはず
always
っと
been a
お父
good
さんの世話
son
をしてきた高
looking
校
after
息
a
子や。
father.
そないな人を
Why
信用
must
せんわけにはいか
why
ん。
we mistrust a person like that?
回りくどくて分かり
You're
づ
being
ら
so
い。
runabout, I can barely understand you.
もっとはっきり
Please
具体
speak in
的
a
に言
clear
いた
and
ま
more
え。
practical terms.
条件の一つ目
Our first condition.
まず兄貴は
Aniki, you must
親
admit
父の
that
黄
your
金を見
found
つけてい
dad's
たことを
gold.
認めること。
ありもし
Are
な
you
い
asking me
黄
to
金
admit I
を
possess
私が持
gold
っ
that
ている
doesn't
と
exist?
認めろと。
条
Second
件に
condition.
その黄金につい
You
て
acknowledge that
兄弟
each
の取り
sibling
分を
has a
認めこれ
right
を支
to
払
a
うこ
share
と
of the gold, and you will pay out of those shares.
バカな。
How foolish.
ありもしない200億の黄
With
金
that
について一
non-existent
人
20
頭
billion
50
yen
億。
gold,
合計
that
150億を支
would
払
be
え
5
と
billion
いう
yen
の
per person? Are you telling me to pay a total of 15 billion yen?
バカバカしい。
Ridiculous.
最後まで
Keep
聞きな
listening
は
till
れ。
the end.
そない大
We
金出て
know
く
that
るの
much
は
money
分かっと
can't just pop out of nowhere.
る。できへん取
We're
引
not
はす
asking
る
you
つ
to
もり
make
ない
an
で。
impossible deal.
もちろん
Of course,
黄金の取
regarding
り
the
分につ
portion
い
of
て
the
も
gold, we
ク
plan to
ラス
reward
兄
you
さんの
plenty
今日ま
for
で
your
の
hard
ご
work
苦
until
労を
now.
十分にねぎらって換算するつもりや。
条件
Third
3
condition,
黄金の分配は
the portion of the
後宮
gold
本家
to the
当
one
主後
bearing
継ぎ
the
の肩
title
書きに
successor to the
50%
Ushimi head
残り
family
を兄弟
will
の
be
正当な取り分とし
50%.
て分割
The remainder will be considered the heir, the fair share for the siblings, divided up.
もちろん
Of course,
クラウス
this
兄
will
さんも
include
これに
you,
は含めるわ
Kraus
よ
Nii-san.
200億のうち
Of the 20 billion,
125億を兄貴に
12.5 billion will go to Iniki.
25億をエ
2.5
ヴァ
billion
姉
will
さ
go
ん
to Ava Nissan.
25億を
2.5 will
俺
go
に
to me.
25
2.5 will
億
go
を
to
ロ
Rosa.
ーザに
ありがたくて涙が出る分配じゃないか。
Makes me that division scheme makes me sound so grateful I could cry.
存在しない黄
So
金
you're
のため
saying,
に
for the sake of the
お
gold
前
that
た
doesn't
ちに
exist, I
75
must
億支
pay
払え
you
というのかね。
7.5 billion yen.
何よ
What's wrong?
兄さんの取り分は私たちの5倍
Your
じ
share
ゃ
is 5 times
ない
worth the size of yours.
私なら
These
踊
are
り
such
上
good
がっちゃう
terms.
好
I'd
条
be
件
jumping
よ
for joy.
条件の4
Our fourth condition.
分配金は
The
親
gold
父
will
の
be
死亡時に
liquidated
遺
and
産分
distributed
配に
along
含め
with
て
the
生産する
inheritance of the time of father's death.
ただし
However,
付金とし
as a
て
deposit,
俺たちの取り
10%
分
of
の
our portions
10% を
are to
即
be
納し
paid
て
to
もら
us
う
promptly.
支払いは
These payments
来年
must be
3
made
月
before
まで
March of next year.
どや、クラス兄さん。
What do you think, Klaus Nissan?
お父さんの財産を
This
め
is
ぐる
an
信頼
ideal
を回復
chance
す
for
る
you to
絶好
restore
の
the
チャンス
trust
やないか。
regarding your handling of father's assets, isn't it?
さすがに75
Of
億の
course,
大
it might
金
be
は
impossible
お
to
父さんが亡くなったからやない
to
と
get a
無理や。
whole 7.5 billion before father dies.
だが、
But it
手
should
付
be
けの
possible
7
for
億
you
半
to
は
manage
なん
a
とかできんことも
deposit
ないん
of
とちゃうか。
75 million, right?
半年で7億ってのはちょい
Paying
としん
70
どい
million
話
and
だ
a
が
half a year might sound like a pain.
政界財界に友人が多いってのが自慢の兄貴
With all
な
your
ら
friends
な
in
ん
the
とかできるだ
political
ろ
and business spheres.
本当なら
Normally,
今すぐ75
you
億を一
receive
括
this
で払ってもらいたいとこ
7.5 billion
ろ
right
よ
away at all once.
でも兄さんの立場に配慮して
But,
とりあえず1割を納める
Show
誠意を見せ
sincerity
て
by
くれた
asking for only
ら
10% of that for the time being.
残りの9割は
The remaining
遺
90%
産分
can
配
wait
時に
until
持
the
ち越して
inheritance
くれ
is
ていいってことなのね
See?
1割程度の誠意な
Even
ら
so,
兄さん
Even
にだって
you
示せ
be
るんじゃ
capable of
ない
managing a mere 10% to show your sincerity.
親父殿の財政
So,
状
you're
況調
trying
査
to
を
sell
私に
me
一
the
任す
right
る
to
権利を
assets father's
7億
financial
5000万で
situation
売りつけよう
for
という
70
のか
billion
ね。
yen.
上
How
等じゃない
impressive.
か。 お前たちも成長したものだ。この私に取引を持ちかけられるようになるとは。
これらを兄さんが飲むなら、私たち兄弟はお父様の財産状況調査を兄さんに一任する。ただし、その調査結果は公弁の対象となる。当然よね。75億分、私たちの取り分が減るように調整されちゃったら悲しいもの。
原則的に文句は言わねえつもりだ。兄貴が綺麗にやってくれたならそれでいい。よっぽど露骨なことをしなければ、俺たちはことを荒立てるつもりなんかねえんだぜ。俺たちだって早く遺産が欲しい。いつまでもグダグダして取りっぱぐれたくねえんだ。
公弁された場合の再調査は誰がするのか。
兄さんでいいわ。多分これが兄弟で合議する最初で最後の機会だから。そんなことにはならないと信じてる。
ローザもたまには言うわね。
By this point, it's obvious that Kraus wasn't at all trusted as the oldest sibling, so there's no need to go into the detail. The formerly tyrannical oldest brother had always abused his privileges and violated the other siblings' shares. It was in response to this that the other three, now adults, were finally teaming up and striking back for the first time.
申し訳ないが、条件はまだ続くんや。条件5、この取り決めはお父さんの遺言状に優先する。後になってこの取り決めが保護になるような遺言が出てきちゃかなわんちゅうこっちゃな。
入念じゃないか。
I see, but you're very cautious.
なら質
Let
問
me
だ。
ask, if the gold
仮に
really
本
were
当に黄
found,
金が見つかった場合、
what would you do?
どうするのかね。
それに対する支払いを兄貴が済ませてる以上、
What's the gold's worth?
俺たちは
The rest of us,
本当に
really?
黄金
Don't
が出てこ
care
よう
if we
が
ever see the
ど
gold
う
or
でも
not.
いいことさ。
俺たちの取
You
り
can
分
think of it,
は先
think
払い
of our
ってな感
shares
じ
in
になる
advance
わけだからな。
payment. It's good to have
夢があってい
dreams,
いじゃ
isn't
ない。この
it? You
島をリ
plan ゾ
ゾ
to
ート化
turn
する
this
つもりなん
island
で
to a
しょ。
resort, right?
その
You
工
might
事の
stumble
途
upon
中
the
で
gold by chance during
ここに黄金が見
construction.
つかるかもしれないじゃない。
Ava let a high-pitched laugh. Kraus watched but didn't even flinch.
条件に
Let
7
me
をつけ
address
て
a
もらおう。
seventh condition before I accept.
私以外の兄
In a
弟が黄
situation
金
that
を
any
発見
sibling
した場合、
other than myself
速
finds
や
the
かに
gold,
私に引き
they will
渡すこ
immediately
と。
turn it over to me.
え
Yes, yes, of
も
course.
ちろん
They'll
保
hold
証
on
する
to
わ
it
よ。
for you. It was a play on words. Of course. Of course, the others who were forcing Kraus to pay money for some non-existent gold wouldn't save Kraus his portion if they actually found it. From the beginning, this deal had been nothing more than a threat directed at Kraus. Regardless of the actual facts, it was still extremely likely that Kraus was embezzling his father's assets. When Kenzo faced death at last and had his inheritance distributed, some unpleasant facts would surely come to light. That could easily become fatal to Kraus. The others had spotted this weak point and were threatening their brother under the veil of compromise, trying to wring a huge sum of money out of him. However, they had forgotten one thing. They'd forgotten that their brother's brain moved so swiftly, at least when it came to cunning and guild, that they'd been forced to band together to combat him. While Ava couldn't stop smiling, sure of her victory, Kraus let out a gloating laugh to show how relaxed he was.
とて
This
も
is
良い
all makes
話じゃ
for
ないか。
such a touching story.
私も
My
お前たちとの
estrangement
関
from
係
you
が
all
疎
left
遠
a
になっ
deep
ていた
pain
こ
in
とに
my
は
heart.
非常に心を痛めていた。この条
If
件を守
accepting
るこ
these
とによって
conditions means we
兄弟
siblings
間
can
の関
become
係が
friends
再び
again,
有効なものにで
it
きるな
would,
ら
it would please me
そ
to
れ
no
はと
end.
ても嬉しいことだよ。喜んで
I'd be
話
happy
に
to
乗らせ
agree
て
to
もらお
your
うじゃない
deal.
か。喜べロー
Rejoice,
ザ。
Rosa.
取引は
We
誠
have reached an
実だ。
understanding. Rosa's expression dimmed. It was never a good sign when her brother started talking like this. Ava also keenly picked up on this. That's why she was unable to wipe away a sense of unease, when though Kraus had obediently accepted the deal. My, how obedient of you. It's not like you at all, Nii-san.
それは
What
ひ
a
どいじゃ
cruel
ない
thing
か。
to say.
私に
Are
下
you
心
implying
が
that
あるとい
I
う
have
の
some
かね。
ulterior motive?
あるわけも
Of
ないさ。
course I don't.
お前た
I'm
ちと
just the
同
same
じだ。
as you all. Just the same as you all. He seemed to emphasize that emphasize just that one point. The color of Rudolph's face darkened. To him, it sounded as though Kraus was saying, I have a plan, similar to yours. So Rudolph panicked. He rushed to bring this nearly resolved discussion to a conclusion. Then,
ならいいんだ。
we're good.
じゃあ兄貴、
So, Aniki,
ここにサ
do
イ
you
ンをもら
mind
えるか。
signing here?
今の話を
This
書
is
き
a
出し
written
た俺た
contract
ちの誓
summarizing the
約書だ。
discussion we just been having.
人数分ある。
There's one for each of us.
同じ内容に
Everyone will
全員が
sign
サ
for
イン
the
する
same。contents. Rudolph took out written contracts out of his breast pocket. There had been detailed their deal written on them.
クラウス兄さんの提案した条件
The
7
seventh
も
condition
もち
you
ろん
propose
今から追記す
will,
る
of
ぜ。
course, be added right now.
安心したってな。
Don't worry about that.
兄貴、
Aniki,
ペン使うか。
need a pen? Rudolph took out a fountain pen from his breast pocket and offered it to Kraus. Kraus made as if to accept it, but then with a small laugh, he drew back his hand without taking it and spoke.
実は
Actually,
この取り
in
決めを
order to
確か
ensure
に履
that
行
this
するため
agreement
に
is properly
1点だけ
executed,
修正を提
I'd
案
like
し
to
たい。
propose an amendment on just one point. As soon as Kraus said that single sentence, all the siblings felt as though something ominous was creeping up their backs. At the same time,
ダメ
the,
よ。もう決まった
We've already
話よ。
decided, haven't we?
黙ってサ
Just
インを。
stay quiet and sign it.
エヴァ、
Why are you such
何
a
を
hurry?
焦っているんだね。もちろんサイン
Of
は
course
する
I'll。sign.
お前たちに黄
I
金の
promise
分け
the
前
share of the gold going to all you
75
will be
約束する。
7.5 billion yen.
親父
I
どもの遺
also
産分
promise
配の
that
時
when father's
きれい
inheritance
さっぱり
is
清算
distributed,
することも
I will
約
clearly
束する。
and neatly liquidate it.
だが
However, there is
一
one
点
point
だけ
that
どう
I
して
simply
も譲歩
must
してもらい
insist
た
that
い
you
部分があ
compromise
るの
on.
だよ。
何の
What
話だ
are
よ。
you talking about?
どの点が気に入ら
What
ねえ
don't
っ
you
てんだ。
分け
The
前
part
の
about
1割
promptly paying 10%
7
of
億
your
5000万
share.
円を即納する点だよ。
750 million yen.
お前た
As
ち
you
の指
pointed
摘
out,
通り
my financial
私の財
situation is
政状
far
況は
from
決して裕
prosperous.
福ではない。数々
Though
の
I
先
can
行投
guarantee
資によ
that
って
I will collect
未来に
on
必ず
various
回収
future
できると保
investments.
証さ。今のこの時
I
点
must
では
admit
火
that
の
I
車
am
であ
quite
ること
poor
は
at
認
the
めなけれ
present
ばなら
moment.
ない。つまり
In short,
今
I
すぐに
absolutely
動かせ
no
る金
money
は
that I
全
can
く
move
ない
around
と
right
いう
now.
ことだ。私は無
I
能
am
で詳細の
I
嗅
am
覚も鈍
incompetent,
い。
and my business sense is dull.
お前たちの
So
言う
I
とこ
am
ろ
the
の要
loser
因
you
の
all
私
claim me
に
to
は
be. I
7
don't
億
have the
半も
power to
半年で
move
動かせる力は
750
ない
million
という
yen
こと
in
だ
just
よ。
half a year.
そんなはずは
That
ない
can't
で
be
しょ。
true.
いい加
Are you
減な
trying
こ
to
とを言って
deceive
こ
us
の
with
場を
such
ご
an
まかす
half-baked
気？
trick?
遺産分配時に
At the
全て
time
一
of the
括で
division of the
清算す
inheritance,
る。
I will liquidate everything at once.
1割を即納
Remove
す
the
る条
condition
件を
that
削除
I
した
must
ま
pay
え。
you 10% in advance.
それが私にサ
That
イ
is
ン
the
さ
only
せるため
condition
の
under
唯
which
一の
I am
条
willing to
件だ。
sign.
クラウス兄さん、こ
That
の
10%
1
is
割は
nothing
な、
more than a
あくまで
number
も兄
to
さんの
measure
誠
your
意を測
sincerity.
る数字なんや
Isn't
で
it?
本当な
All
ら
things being
取引の
equal,
余地
you
も
shouldn't
ない
have the room
話
to
や。
negotiate at all. They're doing you a huge favor by offering to let things slide for just 10% of good faith money. Now that we explained that, you rejecting our offer, would you seriously damage our trusting relationship, right? Hideyoshi had a humble expression on his face and was rubbing his hands together, but his eyes weren't calm at all. Kraus had already seen through the shadow of the depths of those eyes. Why are you acting in such a rush? Why are you all in such a rush? Of course, it would be that you're afraid of something. Rosa, won't you tell me alone? Secretly, so the rest of the siblings can't hear. It's not. Though I. Wait, what? Quiet, Iniki. We're all asking whether you're going to sign or not. You forget about making strange deals or any suspicious moves. Oh. Is there no room to negotiate? Are you trying to claim that I am in a weak position, which therefore puts us all in an equal relationship? Shiver began to crawl up Rudolph's back. He began to feel himself getting overwhelmed by the height of his brother's completely insurmountable wall, and the long shadow that had existed since they were children. Shouldn't deals be made between those on even footing? From my perspective, this deal will help restore the long lost trust of my younger siblings and deepen our love between us. There's an old problem that's been eating at me, and one I would prefer to resolve as soon as possible. I would be overjoyed if we could resolve it today. However, it seems that I am not the only one who will be quite glad to close this deal quickly, am I wrong? Kraus stared at each of his siblings. They avoided his gaze with an animal-like instinct. Only Hideyoshi was slow in avoiding it, so he was caught by Kraus's gaze. I heard your company has been doing extremely well lately. At a brisk pace, it went public in both its track record and stock prices have soared. I am truly jealous. We aren't here to talk about my husband. However, it is unfortunate you have neglected your stockholders. Even more unfortunate you were unable to solidify your base. You became stock listed. Before you realized it, some bad-natured colleagues of yours have bought up a huge share of your company's stock, right? How could you know about that? Isn't what you know about me. If it's possible to collect evidence proving that no one will offer a loan to me, then it's possible for me to collect evidence on you. It is really so unexpected as that. Kraus grinned broadly. In contrast, Hideyoshi was faced with rapidly turning pale. Hideyoshi's company was a restaurant chain management. Ugh. Oh, I've been in for 3 hours. Okay, I think we need to stop now. We need to stop now. I wanted to finish the scene, but it's going way too long. I have other things I need to do before I head to sleep. Alright, so let's save the system, right? Go to system, save, and exit. Oh, that took forever. It was fun. I had fun. I know the visual novel thing doesn't do a lot of views, but you know what? I don't really care because I love these stories. I love when they cry. I love Higurashi. I love Umineko, and this is just fun to me. But thank you for anyone who showed up, even just for a little bit, even if you just stay for a second. You know I love you. And you're welcome to come back anytime you want, whenever I'm doing something you find more appealing. Alright? But I do have to go, so I will see you all tomorrow. And for those who didn't like this, I'm sorry, but we have more Higurashi to read. More Higurashi. And after Higurashi for this month, not this month, this week. After Higurashi, what's the schedule for Monday? I forgot. Oh fuck, we're going back to Outlast. Oh no. We have to beat it. But after that is House on the Hill. Yay! Alright, I do need to go. See y'all later. See you tomorrow. Have a good night, or evening, or morning, or wherever you may be in the world. Have some fantastic nightmares for me, and we'll all meet each other tomorrow. Have a good night. Say it back. Say it back. Say it. Say it back. Say it back. Say it back. Alright, Joe. I love you, Bye. Okay, bye.